All right, welcome in Bettor's Last Stand. This is show number 62. We are live on location at Belmont Brewerks over in Martins Ferry, Ohio. The wonderful Rick Veon's having us over. He participated in Dancing with the Stars with Soup.
Did an outstanding job.
Yes, he was wonderful, and we had him on our radio show a couple of weeks ago, and we appreciate Rick making this happen out on this beautiful patio. It's a great night. It's going to be chilly once the sun goes down. We got a nice fire keeping us warm. And hopefully we're going to stay as hot as we are at our betting records right now as we come in on fire right now. Chris might be the hottest guy in the tri-state area when it comes to sports betting.
Yes.
Another 2-0 week for him. And, Chris, your best bets are just going through the roof right now. You're now 9-4-1 on the season. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very warm inside, but I didn't personally bet any of these. So
Well, that's all right. You don't have to reveal your secrets.
I just give it for the people to consume.
Well, just think if you did.
Money.
He's 9-4-1.
And that's usually the way it is. When you give them and don't bet them, that's usually they're usually.
And then
good.
I don't have to sweat it out like you guys do all the time.
Yeah, well.
What gives you that idea?
Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks, Mark. And you're 6-8, which is unusual.
6-8 in my best bets.
Yes, Coach 6-8 on his best bets. I fell to 11-5. I was 1-1 on the week, but we had a really, really good week. We have been up almost 45 units the past 3 weeks, 45.15 units. We were 10-3 in our college football future bets so far, which is really, really good, guys. Up almost 7 units right there. So we've had 13 college football best bets that we gave out way, way, way back in August, and we are 10-3 on those so far.
Awesome.
Which is really, really good. And last week we were up 11.5 units as a group as well. So it was a very strong week. Racing's over, but Sam was still ahead. He had a couple college football winners. Coach was above 500 in college football, again 1-1 in his best bets. Chris was on the show last week because he had a trade show, but he gave out 2 best bet winners and improves to 9-4-1, as we said. I was 8-4 in college, 5-3 in the NFL. I'll take that any week of the year. And NBA, I even was 3-1 in that somehow. So it's all going to crash and burn here soon. So hopefully you made a little bit of cash. And we're going to try to stay as hot as we can right now, but it's never easy, as Coach would tell you. You know, as soon as you start getting on a little roll, you know it's going to spiral downward, Coach.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I have not. I've been a little bit cold here lately. I got to bounce back this week. I feel confident this week. There's some games I really like, so hopefully I can bounce back and give the folks and listeners a couple of winners this week. I'm pretty confident this week.
That's the idea. Again, we're down here at Belmont Brewerks over in Martins Ferry, Ohio. We appreciate Rick having us down here. We're going to have him on the show here in a little bit to tell us about this beautiful place that he's got and what he's got going on. Seems like a really happening place to be. And I know they do really good stuff here. They have music acts and great food, great beer. So stop on out whenever you get over this way. It's definitely worth the trip. If you live in Wheeling, it's literally like a minute drive, it feels like. So we appreciate him having us out here. Guys, I want to get your opinions on, before we break into the college schedule for the week, thoughts on the college football playoff ranking. Last night, Georgia passes Ohio State. So it goes Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, and Oregon, the top 6. Coach, what are your thoughts on things so far? Is it too early to even care?
Washington and Oregon are still getting disrespected.
They are.
I can't believe Florida State's ahead of both of those. They're playing in the best conference in the land, not even close, and they're both 5 and 6. I think they should be at least 2 and 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Chris, thoughts?
Well, as soon as you said Florida State, I thought, what? I'm not the least bit impressed with
I think
them.
Washington and Oregon would both beat Florida State, and I think they'd beat Ohio State.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. In my opinion, Florida State is very, very average. I'm not saying they don't deserve to be in the top 6 because they're undefeated, but they beat Boston College by like 2 points. They barely beat Pitt. They barely beat Miami. The ACC is not a good league.
No.
Now, Washington, in my mind, has the best win of the college football season, beating Oregon, who is probably, arguably, playing better than Washington right now, but they have a win over them. How those two teams are not in the 2nd and 3rd spots, or at least I can see Oregon not maybe being 5th right now because they do have the one loss, but Ohio State or Michigan, one of them is going to lose. So they're going to probably knock one of those out of there. To me, it's just ridiculous that Florida State's in their head. I really, truly think Washington should be number 2 in this. And
Yes.
Pac-12 has been getting the accolades that it's the best conference, and they beat Utah in a tough game last week. Florida State struggles against the Miami team who has their freshman quarterback plan, and they really didn't really put the game away until very late. I just think they're way out of whack there, but maybe they're going to let it all sort out. And then on the cusp, looking on the outside, looking in, just looming there is Alabama. What happens if they run the table and beat Georgia in the SEC championship game? And then Texas as well with a head-to-head win over Alabama.
Yeah, I like Alabama right now. I think Alabama's starting to get their legs under them. I think they're going to be tough to beat down the stretch. They're going to be. They're really going to be. They're going to make a push for this Super Six or whatever we call it.
They seem like they fixed their offense a little bit, and Milroe's playing with a lot of confidence right now. So I think they're going to be really, really tough for Georgia to be able to beat. I mean, they very well could knock them off, and then what do you do? I mean, then it comes down to the SEC. Do they get 2 teams in? And people hate that. They get mad about it, and you know it's just it's a topic of conversation every single season. But you know the Big 12 is kind of letting Texas down, as a lot of the other schools have all kind of floundered. They're all kind of average. Chris, where do you see it going? What do you think?
Know, man.
How it shakes out?
You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens next week because the Michigan-Ohio State matchup. I mean, that's going to determine a lot of it. But I'm not sold on Ohio State. I mean, I think they belong in that top top 6 there. But as far as being the second best team, I'm not so sure about that. But you know, we still got a lot of football to go. But because Georgia overtook them from last week, correct?
Right.
Okay, so now they're number 1. But I don't know. It's going to be really exciting. I'm glad to see Washington and Oregon in there, but I do definitely think they are better than Florida State, and really Florida State probably shouldn't even be in there if you throw in Alabama. So.
It's outrageous. Florida State's ahead of Washington. I don't really understand it in any capacity. And Ohio State, I think people maybe realize that Penn State's really not so good.
No.
So I think that kind of hurt them. I think originally they thought Notre Dame and Penn State were good wins. I'm not really sure they are. I'm not really sure who any of these teams have really beaten other than Washington. Because, I mean, how you look at those 6 teams, Washington far and away has the best victory. They're the only one who beat another team in the top 6, and yet they sit 5th. It's bizarre to me. But it's Pac-12 bias, and you know we're not Pac-12 guys, but this year you got to call it like you see it, and they are the best league.
I totally agree, but my God, you look from top to bottom how awful the Big Ten is.
It's terrible.
I mean, you got
it's an embarrassment.
Ohio State and Michigan.
That's it.
That is
you can't
it.
even give Penn State.
No. I mean, I thought maybe at the
they're
beginning,
a distant third, a very, very distant third.
That maybe Wisconsin would have been a factor. They're 5-5, I think, and that's one of the worst conferences in all of football.
It's pathetic. And Penn State, a very distant third, and then your 4th place team who cracked into these rankings at 16 is Iowa. Maybe the worst offense
and
on
not
record.
only is it the worst, it's the most boring and unwatchable almost.
It is, no question. I would say without a doubt it's the way. Because even the ACC, for as bad as it is, at least they score, get up and down the field a little bit. But the Big Ten is as bad as it gets. That game last week, Rutgers and Iowa, coach trying to sweat out an over there, trying to beg for an over. 22 points, couldn't get it. One more score to get it over, 27.
Did you come close to that mark?
Yeah,
they had 22, and I was on the 6, but then they knelt on it. Yeah,
well, James Franklin would have.
Well, Rutgers literally never got close to scoring. They never got close to
scoring. I meant to go back and look. I'm not sure Rutgers got inside the 30-yard line of Iowa. And if they did, they must have went for it on a 4th down or something, and they got stopped. But
I would say that this is the worst the Big Ten's ever been. Top to bottom. I would say it's the worst.
Literally,
it's ever been.
Only 2 teams.
Because really, several years ago, Wisconsin was very good.
Right.
I mean, they were
especially at home.
They were really good. Michigan State at one time was very competitive. They're just totally they're a non-factor anymore. They're like Northwestern. You know, for a couple of years was pretty good, but it is arguably one of the worst, maybe the Power 5, I would say, the worst conference. Them in the ACC,
yeah,
I would
ACC's
say.
bad.
I'm going to ask this question. I probably already know the answer, but is it basically Iowa probably has a good defense, but probably a lot of it, those defensive statistics are because their opponents suck.
Yeah, I would
because
like
they've given up 0, 7, 12, 6, 14, and 6 like in their last 6 games. So
and their punter places the ball very well.
But
Yeah.
Rutgers is a pretty good offensive team, and I will say Iowa's defense is really, really good. But I would like to see him play a Georgia or a
Well, you saw what they did against Penn State. Even Penn State destroyed them.
Right.
And
So,
the best of Penn State's offense looked all season.
yeah. So I'm not sold on Iowa, obviously.
Yeah, Big Ten's got a lot of work to do. It's a 2-horse race, and whoever loses that Michigan-Ohio State game should not be in the playoff, in my opinion. I don't see how. I don't see how you put them in. But there's talk about that one too, of course, from Ohio State people that they want them in if they lose and they win without Harbaugh or whatever. They're making a case like if it's a 3-point game that they should still both get in. But I don't see that happening. But you never know. These committees are all corrupt and they'll take the biggest payouts. Jimbo Fisher got canned this week, Chris, after a 59-10 win. What took so long?
Does it surprise anybody that he got fired? With all that goddamn money that they have, and what are they, 6-4?
Yeah.
He's a clown. He's not a good coach. And the resources they have, and he's just not a good coach.
And that top recruiting class has done a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But in Jimbo's defense, generations of his family will never have to work with a $76 million buyout.
It's like he struck oil in the old days.
What's amazing is that West Virginia people are saying, let's get Jimbo Fisher. What makes people think that he'll win at West Virginia when he couldn't win at A&M with the money they have?
And the resources.
Resources they have, and West Virginia has none of that. Why do they think he will win there? He's not going to win there.
He only ever won when he had Jameis Winston, who was a tremendous college quarterback. Can't take that away from Jameis. He's an idiot in the pros, but he's good in college, and he was good in college. And that's the only time he ever won. So it's just like so many other coaches. If you don't have the quarterback, look at Dabo Swinney now. We thought he was a great coach. Maybe he's not. He had Deshaun Watson and who else did he have? There's another really Lawrence, and then before that they had Taj Boyd. So they had a really good run of like almost 10 years of great quarterbacks, and now look at what he's got right now. So quarterbacks can cover up a lot of problems.
That's a team that's coming on a little bit right now too, Clemson. We'll talk
they're
about
playing
them.
better. They're playing better.
We'll talk about them here when we talk about their game. That's one of my better bets this week too.
Okay.
By the way.
All right. We look forward to hearing about that. And one last thing before we get into the card, Coach. How do you feel about your Colorado bet? You got a lot on the line on Friday.
It worries me this week. That if I get by this week, and if any people aren't familiar with that bet, I bet one of our friends back at the beginning of the season, I said that Colorado would not win over 4.5 games. And this guy, they started out 4-1. Everybody remembers the hype that Veon and the Colorado Buffalo. They were literally talking about them being in a national championship game. And, and
Heisman.
What's his name?
Shedeur
Sanders winning the Heisman. And now that is all gone, and they are not a good football team. But Washington State is not playing real well right now. I wish Washington State was playing better. They're at home giving 5.5 to Colorado. If I get through that one, I think I'm not going to say I can like it. Yeah, they got to go to Utah. And if they lose their 6th straight and head to Utah, and Utah will be playing for probably a lot on the line. So I'm cautiously optimistic, whereas 3 weeks ago I had my $100 bill out literally ready to pay him because I thought there was no chance. But that loss to Stanford.
I was going to say, if that bet works for you, you send Stanford a thank you or something.
29-0.
On the road. At Colorado.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So sometimes you do get lucky.
Sometimes. We'll see. It only matters if he finishes it out there.
Right.
It didn't do him any good if he didn't.
It really worries me Friday
Washington
night.
State's lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, then they tried to battle back last week. I think they played Cal. Did they play Cal? I think they played Cal and just battled back but couldn't get there. It's just here's my opinion on that game. It's going to be whoever has the ball last, and there's going to be a lot of points in that game. I think that's going to be in the 40s, and it's going to be a shootout. And I just got to cross my fingers that because it's not so much $100, honestly, that is like obviously I want to win 100 instead of losing. But after he beat me up when it was 4-1, blowing my phone up, and he already had the money spent just to be able to chirp when he walks in the first day after Colorado goes 4-7, 4-8. That'll be
and he's got a gift for chirping.
Oh, he is the best. He is the best. Between Ohio State and the Mets, he can wear you out a little bit.
All right. Let's talk real quick again about before we get into the card here. Again, we're at Belmont Brewerks over in Martins Ferry. Rick Veon has us over here. We appreciate Rick inviting us to do the show over here. It's been really fun so far. We're enjoying the atmosphere over here. It's lovely.
Very nice.
Iowa. What atmosphere is not lovely is Iowa's offense. So 30.5 this week is their total against Illinois. Now Iowa's
it's up a little bit.
Yeah, Iowa. This is really high for them. They had 32 against Kentucky, 31.5 against Minnesota, and that was last year. This year 30.5, then 29.5, and 27.5 the last 2 weeks. So 30.5 is ticking up. I'll still be going under in this game. You guys might daringly bet the over here, but.
You're gonna keep riding.
I'm gonna keep riding it. Yeah, I'm gonna ride it out until it stops. So we'll see. Kansas taking some money early this week against K-State. You can find them anywhere between 7.5, 8, and 8.5, even some 9s I saw out there. But they are taking some money, so it's starting to tick down a little bit. They're catching a lot of points, Coach. Before we get into that game, do you have a good feeling about the Jayhawks catching that many points?
I do. I do at home. They're a much better team at home than they are on the road.
Seems like a lot of points to me.
Yeah, a lot of points, and I think there'll be a lot of points in that game. Also.
High scoring, a little bit better offensive performance.
Yes.
I wonder what the Kansas quarterback situation might be, because that was
that
ugly
either.
last week.
Yes.
That's for sure. Ohio State, Michigan, early look ahead line, Michigan minus 5.5. Do you think that seems about right? It's at Michigan.
Based on the last couple of years, I don't think that's enough points. I mean,
I would agree. I thought maybe that would open it just under a touchdown, like 6.5, 6. But we'll see what happens this week. All right, so let's jump into it here. Let's go right to the game we just mentioned, Colorado at Washington State. Washington State minus 4.5. The total 64 on the dot. Coach, you like over in this? Lots of points.
I do like the over.
And that is a Friday night kick,
Yep.
folks. Remember, 10:30 on FS1. So get your Saturday started off with a Friday night winner. Chris, you have any opinion on that ball game?
I kind of agree with Mark too, as far as who might have the ball last to win the game. But I do like a lot of points. I got the over.
Okay, so 2 overs there. I don't really have a play, but I would lean towards the over. Noon kick on Saturday, Michigan at Maryland. It'll be Michigan minus 19, total 50.5. Michigan coming in. This is a look-ahead spot for them, but, man, Maryland has been so bad. I think Michigan flexes their muscles. They got the us against the world mentality here. I think it's Michigan and under for me in this game, guys. What do you think?
I got Michigan. I'm going to give the points. So Maryland's lost 4 out of 5, and like you said, Michigan's. Like you said, it's everybody against us. So they're going to put a beating on Maryland before the Ohio State week.
Yeah, last 4 trips to Michigan or to Maryland, Michigan's won by an average of 31.5 points. So I don't see any. I don't see any letdown here. I think Michigan is roll. I think Maryland's a mess.
Yep.
Maryland was started out the season, 4-0? I think.
Yep,
4-0.
until that Ohio State game where they let them off the hook. They were in the red zone several times. They didn't score. They ended up getting beaten. They fell apart after that.
There's another Ohio State story. They should have they could have easily lost to Maryland.
Absolutely.
Maryland, they could have easily lost to Rutgers if Rutgers doesn't.
Right.
If they don't get that 96-yard pick.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, Rutgers extends that lead. I think at that point it was. They were up 6. I think they could extend it to 9 or 13. That's a different game. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different game. So Ohio State to me is, and we've watched them. We watch them every week at the Pine Room or somewhere. They're just not. They're just not.
They have Harrison.
They're not crazy.
That's all you really
impressive.
see stand out on their team is
And
Harrison.
they were very
solid defense.
fortunate at Notre Dame. That could
Yeah,
have been
man.
another one.
To me, I don't even give that a big win. Notre Dame got housed 2 weeks later by Louisville. I don't even see that as a big win at all. I think Notre Dame's just very average. Not a whole lot to speak of on the bone for Ohio State.
So
if you ask
Michigan,
me.
I'm rolling there.
Wolverines heavy in that game.
I like the under a little bit there too,
Yep.
Matt. I think Maryland will have a hard time.
I think that'll
scoring.
be that could be 48-0.
Yes.
I can see it. All right, let's jump back to stay in the Big Ten. The lovely Big Ten. It's the Indiana Hoosiers hosting the Michigan State Spartans. Hoosiers minus 4.5 at home. The total 47. I like Indiana. This team's impressed me. They've come alive a little bit. They've been playing hard. Beat Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. They're good enough to win this game at home. Michigan State can't wait for the season to be over.
I agree. I'm playing Indiana here also.
I got Indiana as well. And just real quick, Michigan State in 3 of their top opponents they played, Ohio State, Michigan, and Washington, they were outscored 128-10, 98-3 by halftime. I think they're absolutely dreadful. I was saying that from week 1, so take a Hoosiers.
I like that 98-3 in the first half. That might be a first half bet there for Indiana. Next game, ACC, Louisville visiting Miami. It'd be Louisville -1. Total 47. Miami's won the last 2 in the series, but Miami's season is pretty much over. Van Dyke will be back in starting after the other guy about lost his arm last week. Louisville, I obviously I'm a Miami fan, so I'll be hoping Miami wins, but part of me still wants Louisville to win this game. I had them as one of my season-long bets, so to win the ACC, and it looks like they could be heading towards a matchup with Florida State.
Yeah,
so.
They win this game. They're in the ACC championship game.
I'll be fine if they end up beating my Canes because I have that bet going, and I like Louisville in that game against Florida State. Coach, what do you think about this?
Yeah, Miami's defense is really good, only allowing 86 yards a game rushing. I think this is really going to be a good game. I think it's close, but I think Louisville gets the cover in a close one.
Mark, I tend to agree with you on Miami. I'm going to take Miami. With that defense, and also Louisville is not nearly as effective on the road. They average 39 at home, but on the road they're only 23 points per game. So I think Miami's looking for a signature win, so I'll take them.
Yeah, this could be a low-scoring game. I would lean towards an under in this game if I had to make a play, but I agree with Coach. I think it goes down to the wire, probably a field goal game. We'll see who gets it done in the heat in South Florida. Rutgers at Penn State, our next one. Penn State coming off another James Franklin sucks coaching game. They're -20.5 at home, total 42. Rutgers could not, as we said, barely cross midfield against Iowa. Penn State barely crossed midfield against Michigan. But I don't know. Something's got to give here. I would imagine Penn State takes care of business pretty easily here. But do they have much to play for here? Because pretty much the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game is going to be the Rose Bowl participant. So what's left for James Franklin, Chris?
I don't know, but you know what? Originally I took Rutgers, but then then Penn State will come back home, and this is Rutgers' third straight ranked opponent they're playing. I still want to take Rutgers. I'm not sold on Franklin after what I saw last week. They're
one thing we know is Rutgers is better coached.
Yes.
And if I can get that up to 3 touchdowns, I'm going to take Rutgers. Coach, where'd you come down here?
Here's what I like in this game. I really like this game under the total.
I do too.
Rutgers has scored 10 or less points in the last 9 meetings against Penn State. Penn State obviously a mess offensively. Just fired their offensive coordinator, which you guys might have mentioned. I think this is a low-scoring game. One of my stronger plays here. I really, really like this game under the total.
I'm with you, too. 42. If it ticks up any higher, I'm definitely going to be getting on the under. I don't care if it goes any higher. Won't deter me from that. Dropping back down. Actually, we're staying. I guess we go back to the no, we're in Big Ten. We were ACC and then Big Ten. Purdue at Northwestern. The Boilermakers -1.5 on the road to total 47. How about this stat? The home team in this series, 1-9 ATS the last 10. So maybe that says play Purdue. I had a little star by Purdue, but don't love it. What do you think, Coach?
Little lean to Purdue.
Yep.
Yes.
Chris?
I'm going with Northwestern.
Oh.
I'm shocked that Northwestern has 5 wins.
They play. I did like them last week. That was a good one.
The fallout from all the sex scandal and their coach, and they're 5-5 and they're at home. So I'm going to take the Wildcats.
Okay. Bow to the Big 12. Oklahoma on the road at BYU. The Sooners -24.5 to total 57 in this game. Oklahoma still has some.
Justin
hooking us up
with a couple of.
Thank you.
Justin.
Beautiful.
Belmont Brewery lagers.
Ooh, these are delicious. As I sampled one before we started. Oklahoma coming in here with a chance to still play in the Big 12 championship game. Probably a rematch with Texas. Laying 24.5 on the road. BYU still feeling their way through the Big 12. It's not been pretty for them, Coach. Where do you come down here?
Yeah. Oklahoma's a much better team at home than they are on the road. They only average 25.5 points a game in Big 12 road games. BYU, obviously, as you just mentioned, they're in a terrible offensive rut. They're averaging 8.5 points.
I think they're on like their 4-string quarterback.
In their last 3 losses, averaging 8.5 points. They are still trying to get bowl eligible.
Yes.
Right.
So that's big for them. But I think at home they get beat, but they get to cover. I'm looking like 38-20 Oklahoma.
Okay. Chris, where'd you come down?
I'm going with BYU at home as well.
Okay.
They just take. I mean, they're not going to win, but they'll.
Right, cover the 24. Too bad they can't get bowl eligible for covering, huh?
Yeah, right.
Ole Miss
Right.
has a week off. They play Louisiana Monroe unless you guys have something strong
Well,
on that.
I do.
Please.
I do have a little play there.
Okay.
I like. Monroe's on an 8-game losing streak
really bad.
under Terry Bowden. Ole Miss
Terry.
obviously got blasted 52-17 by Georgia. I think they bounce back and make a big statement here. I'm looking like 52-10 Ole Miss. I really like Ole Miss in this game.
Okay, that's good. That's a good theory there. I like it too. I think Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin will be trying to get back on track, and you're right, points could be coming in bunches for them. All right, let's drop it on down to Cincinnati at West Virginia. The Mountaineers hosting the Bearcats. Mountaineers -6.5, total 56. This is my best bet of the week here. I'm on the Mountaineers. I think Cincinnati coming off of a unlikely victory last week over Houston, which I was on the other side of. They can't do it 2 weeks in a row. I've watched Cincinnati play a couple times. They absolutely stink. Mountaineers will have enough pride to win this game. I think they win by a touchdown or more. Guys, what do you think?
Senior day, honoring Don Nehlen. I think this is a really good spot for the Mountaineers. And I don't think the Mountaineers are as bad as that loss last week. They just
No, they're not.
I agree.
They just run out of steam. They're just not good enough to be able to week in, week out.
And if you look at the Big 12, I mean, everybody's beating each other
Right.
up.
Very even league.
It is. It is. I mean, you think Oklahoma's a team to beat. Oklahoma State beats them. Oklahoma State's a team to beat.
Lays an egg.
UCF beats the shit out of them. I mean, Texas, I think there's a lot of parity in the
Sadly, the
Big
only
12.
two automatic wins, Baylor and BYU, it seems like these days, sadly.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Matt. I think the Mountaineers. I think they win this game. That was one of my stronger plays, also.
I would lay alternate spreads there too, people. I would go. I'd lay up the 2 touchdowns on them. I think they roll Cincinnati. Chris, what do you think?
Same with you guys. Cincinnati's lost 7 of 8, and I think the Mountaineers will probably do to them what they did to BYU a couple weeks ago down in Morgantown, like 37-7. Cincinnati, they have no chance in this game.
All right. That means they do, probably. All right, Pac-12 battle, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time kick. It'll be the Utah Utes at the Arizona Wildcats. This game is a pick right now. Arizona's won in some spots. Guys, this is a really good game. Utah looking to bounce back. Arizona doing as well. Both these teams, very solid teams. Very even game. I lean Arizona just a touch. What do you think, Coach?
I like the game over the total.
Okay.
Utah is coming off 2 straight blowout wins over Cal and Arizona State. Big. Not that that's any big accomplishment. But they're putting up a lot of points. I think Arizona is now stepped up to be in the top 5 in that conference now.
Yes,
I think they're.
yes.
I think there's. They're not with Washington and Oregon yet, but I think they're
right there with Utah
Yes.
in the next
Yeah.
tier.
Absolutely.
So
Oregon State.
another great Pac-12. I've never been a big Pac-12 fan,
Yeah.
but man,
It's been a fun year.
This conference is. I mean, there's like 4 great games in the Pac-12 this week. So
Yep.
I like this game over the total. I think
Okay.
I think there's a lot of points scored in this game.
Makes sense. Chris, where
I'm
you
going
heading?
with Arizona, Matt. I'm pleasantly surprised with them. I think they've exceeded their expectations. At least when we were talking about it at the beginning of the year, they're tough at the skill positions and better at quarterback. But Utah's got a great defense. But I think Arizona at home squeak this one out.
All right, to the ACC we go. 3 o'clock kick on the CW. Can't miss this one. Duke at Virginia. It'll be the Blue Devils -4 on the road to total 47. I like the Cavaliers here. Duke's beat up, battered. I just think they're running out of steam. I think that coach is a good coach. I think they had a good team, but they're too injured to be able to win here. Virginia's put it together. They'll have a very good crowd on hand for their senior day. It's been a really tough year for them. They had that tragedy in the offseason.
Yeah.
I think this will be a really, really nice performance for the Cavaliers. Chris, where are you going with this one?
Matt, I am going with the Cavaliers as well. I mean, UVA's 2-8, but they really had been in several close games where they could have won. They lost
Yes.
3 to Miami, lost by 3 to
Overtime.
NC State, lost by 7 to Louisville, and they beat North Carolina by 4. So I think at home they're going to get it done against Duke.
I'm
Coach?
with you. I'm
Okay.
behind you.
UVA all the way. Let's go. All right, let's go to the next page. Staying in the ACC, it'll be the NC State Wolfpack on the road at Blacksburg at the Virginia Tech Hokies. The Hokies -2.5, the total 44. Don't really have a play here, but I'd almost lean Tech just because they're at home. I'm not impressed with NC State at all. And Virginia Tech showed some signs of life in recent weeks, Coach. Where you at on this game?
Oh boy, that's a tough one for me. I'm probably passing on this
Yep,
game.
probably a good idea.
Well, I'm taking Tech, man.
Chris, you've been on Tech a lot this year.
They're undefeated at home and averaging a 17-point margin of victory. Now, that doesn't mean they beat
You like Enter
anybody.
Sandman when they play that, don't you?
Yeah, he does.
Well, I do, but I don't know. Is
Well,
this
he
a
likes
night game?
Metallica though. No,
Yeah.
it is not.
It's a 3:30 game,
so
but
it doesn't have the
listen,
same
the
effect.
sun goes down in Blacksburg at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Right. So I'm going to take.
Tech.
What the hell are they?
Gobble,
Hokies.
gobble,
Hokies.
yeah.
Okay.
Gobble, gobble, and Thanksgiving. Getting closer. All right, staying in the ACC. I promise it won't be ACC in Big Ten forever. North Carolina on the road at Clemson. Coach has a strong play here. The Clemson Tigers -6.5. Total 58. Coach, go to you first.
My lock of the day, my lock of the weekend
Okay,
is
best bet.
the over in this game.
Okay.
North Carolina's defense allowed 45.5 points against Georgia Tech and Duke, where they split those two. Clemson's averaging 36.5 points per game in their last two, Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. I think Clemson's cranking it up. I think North Carolina with Drake May and Omari and Hampton, that really good running back. I think there's a lot of points. I'm serious. I would play this over, folks.
Okay. Good one. I like it. Chris?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I mean, NC with Drake May, they got a good balanced offense between a pass and a run. I think they lead the ACC in scoring. However, Clemson number one in total defense. So something's got to give. But I have the Clemson Tigers.
Okay. Chris on Clemson. Coach on the over. I'll be on the over as well. We went from a game that expected to have a lot of points to a game that is expected to not have any points. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes hosting the Illinois Fighting Illini. Iowa -3 at home, total 30.5. I'm on the under here. I can't believe they're putting up 30s in Iowa games. It's too high. I'm on the under, Coach.
Well,
what
you
are you
made
doing?
me a believer in the under, so I can't. There's no way I'm suffering through that. Watching that again, playing the over. I can't do it.
You need 4 touchdowns and a field goal to lose here. I don't see it happening.
Every time I turned it on the other day or looked at, they were playing in between the 30s. It was
Somebody was punting.
punting and pinning them in. It
Chris,
was incredible.
Any alternative viewpoints?
I'm going against you guys. I'm going to take the over. Somehow
Chris
there'll
getting
be
bold.
like a pick six or a punt return.
Well, they thought that last week.
Well, it's got to happen eventually.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it does.
Plus, Illinois won 3 or 4.
Well,
They're rocking.
One thing
Bold.
about you do know the Illinois team inside and out. That's been one of the teams that you've been on.
And they've come way. They
most of the
struggled,
season.
but they're back.
Yeah. All right. Pac-12 to the best conference in football. UCLA at USC. This game a few weeks ago looked like it was going to be a clash of the Titans, but still a very good game. USC -6.5, total 65.5 in this rivalry game. Boy, I wanted to take UCLA here, but I don't think I can take them. They've been so bad lately. I don't know. If it gets to 7, I'll take UCLA just out of principle. But anything below that, I got to go USC, Coach.
And this is UCLA's only averaging 15 points a game their last 3. But on the other hand, they have the top defense in the Pac-12.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is probably not going to reach that 66 number. I'm playing this game under the total a little bit, and I lean to USC a little bit here.
Chris,
Now, has there been reports that Chip Kelly's getting fired after this game?
Oh. I had not heard
saw that last night.
Surprising.
That supposed he was going to be fired. But anyway, this game, I mean, not nearly the hype that they usually have. I mean, they're not really playing for anything other than bragging rights. But I'm going to take UCLA. I just USC's awful. I don't like anything about him. Their coach, the quarterback.
Boy, he was supposed to be the savior. They were supposed to win national championship after national championship when he went there.
He's a fraud.
Hadn't quite worked
There's
out.
a lot
has
of
it?
frauds.
Nah, maybe he'll end up at WVU.
Yeah, right. There you go. Or A&M.
Yeah, Big 12. Jeez, yeah, that'd be an upgrade for him. Yeah. Big 12 action. Baylor at TCU.
Our poor
TCU,
Baylor Bears.
-13. Total 58.5. Baylor a mess. Do they have anything left to play for here? Or is this a TCU just a slaughter job?
They can't get bowl eligible, so
right.
And they're on the road. I don't know. I think that's not a good situation for our boy Jake and the Baylor Bears. I think they may suffer another long Saturday.
Well, at least we get to see Jake for Christmas.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, but at least we'll get to see you.
Good point.
This is this is a blue bonnet battle now.
Yeah,
they call it that. So they
Blue Bonnet Butter. They have Blue Bonnet Butter as the official promoter.
I think
of
so.
They should.
Yeah, because the Blue Bond Bowl was always played at the Houston Astrodome.
Right.
But this is the 119th meeting for these teams, and I think it's going to overtake Texas and A&M as long as Texas rivalry. But that doesn't mean anything.
So
in this
TCU's
game,
getting the skid of butter. Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess, yeah. The 3-pound tub.
Oh.
But I'm going to take TCU. Barrett Bader was bad.
Yeah, it's sad. I hate to pick against them. I won't bet against them, but I can't back them in this game. All right, ACC battle. Well, kind of Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Notre Dame minus 24.5, total 47. I've lost interest in Notre Dame. Wake Forest is just okay.
Even Jeff Doyle said he's lost interest. He said
he's probably happy.
He's thinking about next year. He said the last Saturday was the most relaxing Saturday he's had in forever. But he said all he's thinking about now is next year.
Okay, well.
They do that a lot.
Sam Hartman goes back against his former team.
I look for some points maybe, but that's about all I can see here.
Wake Forest, they're still fighting to get bowl eligible, but they're ranked 122nd in turnovers. And Notre Dame feasts on turnovers.
Yeah.
Notre Dame coming off a bye week. I think Notre Dame rolls Wake Forest here. I really do. I think Notre Dame's a really good play here.
Yeah. All right,
I do
Coach,
too, Mark. I think that'd be
Irish.
something like a 48 to 17
Yeah,
or something.
I think that's
at home.
No way Wake's hanging in this game. No way.
All right, to the SEC we go. Georgia, another tricky road game. On the road at Tennessee as Rocky Top hosts the Bulldogs. It'll be the Bulldogs minus 10.5, total 59.5. Georgia's playing pretty well right now. Carson Beck's settling in. I don't like laying 10.5 here. Maybe a little bit towards the over for me, but I think Georgia definitely wins the game. I'm not certain about how many points they'll win it by, though. Coach, what do you think?
Georgia coming off that massive win last week. They had 311 yards passing and 300 rushing last week. Tennessee's lost their last two to Georgia by an average of 19 points. I'm playing Georgia here about 41-20. They get to cover.
Okay. Chris?
Well, Georgia's playing the best that they've been playing all season. In Tennessee at home, I mean, they just got their doors rocked last week, I think, at Missouri. I like Georgia here. I mean, I think it could be a close game, but I think they'll pull it out, win by maybe 14 or so.
Yep, I think
should be a good game.
They get a score late probably to cover, but not like the over as well. All right, Big Ten action. Minnesota at Ohio State. Ohio State minus 27.5, the total 49. This is interesting tidbit. Ohio State 1-8 ATS their last 9 prior to the Michigan game. So I'm going to get on the Gophers here if I can get to 4 touchdowns. If I can't, I'm playing the game under. I think Ohio State will go through the motions, just do enough to win, and get out of there without any injuries and off to Ann Arbor to decide their season. What do you think, Coach?
The last 4 meetings between Ohio State and Minnesota by average 12.5 points. A lot of people are touting Minnesota to cover easily in this game. I think Minnesota does enough to stay within 2 touchdowns here. I really do.
Okay.
And I like your under, too. I like the under. Ohio State's given up 17 or less points in all 10 of their games.
Their defense is good. I'll give
They're
them that.
very good defensively, but offensively real suspect. And I think Minnesota, just on tradition alone, I think they make a game of it and get the cover.
Yeah, I thought that number was a little too
Yeah,
high.
I like that as well, Coach. And they got a pretty formidable run game, Minnesota, with that Darius Taylor. So if they could eat up some clock and get some sustained drives, I think
they may hang
they
around.
can keep it a little bit close. So yeah, I like
agree.
the Golden Gophers on that.
All right, back out west we go to the desert. It's the Oregon Ducks coming into town to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. The Ducks, the 6th place team in the playoff ranking right now, laying 23 on the road, total 54. This is a tricky game for me. Oregon is the much better team, but Arizona State's been pesky at home. 23, the number's going to be important in this game, if you ask me. If it gets around 24, I'll be on the Sun Devils, but I don't love it. Guys, any thoughts? Chris, where'd you end up here?
Where are we at, Mark?
Oregon and Arizona State.
I got Oregon on this.
Arizona State, I'm with you, Matt, a little bit there. Arizona State 3-0 against the spread as a dog of 14 or more. They're at home, but how do you slow Oregon down?
It's tough.
I mean, Jesus, they're averaging 540 yards a game.
When does it get to the point, though, when Oregon starts to say, okay, we're up, we're comfortable, we're going to take our foot off? We have 2 massive games coming up in a row. We're going to have the Oregon State battle, and then we're going to have to deal with probably Washington again. So to me, it's like, well, they'll get a lead and then they'll take their foot off the gas.
Here's an interesting stat. I mean, you may have seen this, but it said Oregon's 5-0 against the spread when favored by 20 or more. Arizona State is 2-0 against the spread as a 20-point underdog.
Yeah, how about that? Something's got to give, right?
Yeah, and they were
should be a good game though. Again,
they noted
that coach
about
said,
Oregon last week, just were very, very undisciplined. Had like 13 penalties, and not that that's going to carry over to this game, but just I don't know, maybe something to keep an eye on.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on, Chris. All right, to the Big 12 we go. Oklahoma State looking to get back on track. Actually, both these teams. Houston, an awful loss last week. Oklahoma State, a dreadful performance. They're laying 7 on the road here at Houston, and Dana Holgorsen, the total 59.5. Guys, I don't know which one of these teams bounces back. Oklahoma State's the better team. Houston had been playing very well going into last week, and then they got handed a dose of reality. I don't know. I can't pick one here. What do you think, Coach?
Well, Oklahoma State controls their destiny to get into the Big 12 championship game, so there's a lot on the line for them. I think Houston's just I just biased because I don't like Dana Holgorsen.
Yeah.
They've lost the last 3 out of 4 to Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State bounces back this week and just takes them behind the woodshed. I think they beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Chris?
Going to echo what Coach just said. I think they'll handle Houston easily.
All right. I'm indifferent, but I'll go with you guys on the Cowboys there in that one. All right, staying in the Big 12, it's the UCF Knights at the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Red Raiders -3, total 60.5. I don't know. Both these teams had high aspirations. They've been up and down. UCF had a nice win last week. Texas Tech, again, just I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. I don't know. I'll probably lean Tech here, but don't have a good feeling. What do you say, Chris?
They got Tech's getting a couple of their key contributors back, the tight end Mason Sharp and defensive end Steve Linton will be back for the game. Both teams are 5-5, and so I'm going to take Tech at home.
Okay, Coach.
Covering what is it, 3?
Yep, 3.
You know, I was touting UCF at the beginning of the year. I said of the 4 teams coming in, they were going to be the best, and they might have ended up being the worst. But that win last week might have gave them a little energy, and I think they go into Texas Tech and get the cover. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
All right, field goal game. Not much to separate those two teams. Let's move it back to the Pac-12, California. The Golden Bears on the road at the Stanford Cardinal. Golden Bear -7, the total 58.5. This game opened Cal -4.5 and has taken a lot of Cal action early here. Stanford, I don't know. I don't know what to make of Stanford. They've been scrappy. They're not very good, though, except against Dion. Cal's been better than I expected this year, though. I would lean towards the Golden Bears here, fellas. What do you think?
Matt, they're going to win the big game showdown. Cal's won 3 or 4 in the series.
The band is on the field?
Yeah, they're working towards a bowl if they can win their last 2, and Stanford, other than the Colorado game, haven't shown much at all. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
Coach?
Indifferent. Don't have much of a feel.
Won't be tuned into that one. I doubt it.
No, I like the Pac-12, but boy, I don't have much of a feel on this game
that's
at all.
kind of
I looked at it and I just
bottom feeder game.
Yeah,
there.
I couldn't get it.
Here's a game you will be interested in: the K-State Wildcats on the road at the Kansas Jayhawks in a big rivalry game here. K-State -8.5, total 56.5. I'm assuming this number is at 8.5 because of the Kansas quarterback situation. Much to take note of there, depending on who ends up starting here for the Jayhawks. Their offense was anemic last week. Let's hope they can pick it up a little bit, Coach. 56.5 seems a little bit much if the quarterback is compromised here. What do you think?
Yeah, Kansas State's won 14 straight in this matchup. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, they haven't. Kansas hadn't beaten them since 2008. Yeah, so that's
right, 14 straight. But Kansas is 4-0 straight up at home this year, and 3-0 against the spread as a dog. So I like my Jayhawks a little bit here. I think they come out and at home, I like them much better at home than I do on the road, so I think they get the cover.
Okay,
I totally agree, Coach. I'm going to go with the Jayhawks getting the points.
All right, rock chalk for Nick. All right, let's go back to the SEC. Kentucky on the road at South Carolina. It'll be the Wildcats -2, the total 54.5. Lean South Carolina here, but they've disappointed me all season, so I really don't feel very confident about that bet. Kentucky's another one, though. They're so up and down. I can't back them
They
at
can't
all.
beat a good team.
Yeah.
They can beat the teams they should beat, but they can't win a big game. They've gotten blown out in games that they're playing good opponents.
Yep.
South Carolina's won 2 straight. I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan, but I like the game over the total. I think there's a lot of points in this game.
All right. Makes sense, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Gamecocks. It is, even though Kentucky's won 7-9 in this series. I think at home the Gamecocks will win this one and cover.
All right. Back to the Pac-12 we go, and probably one of the games of the day, games of the year. The Washington Huskies on the road in Corvallis, Oregon, to take on the Oregon State Beavers. It'll be the Beavers minus 2.5.
I think this game's going to be
total 63.5. This is a pretty impressive number here. 17-1 ATS. Oregon State is their last 18 at home.
Wow.
That's very, very good. I'm on Washington. Coach and I are on Washington. We're on them to win the Pac-12. I have a national championship bet, playoff bets on them. But I got to be honest here. I'm very worried about this game. And I like Oregon State, too. So I would lean Oregon State in this game. I think they may win this game, but it's going to be a great one. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I agree. Washington now playing their third-ranked opponent in a row.
And they can't crack the top four in the playoff.
It's incredible. Oregon State, 197 yards rushing per game. They have 2 wins against ranked teams at home. But I still think Michael Penix is the X factor here, and he's just so good.
He is great.
I look for them to squeak out a very, very narrow win here in a great game.
All right. Chris?
Yeah, same way, Coach. I like Oregon State at home. I mean, I think it's going to be a wild atmosphere up there. And actually, I think this will be the last Pac-12 game at Corvallis.
Yeah.
Or no. Wait a minute. I got the wrong game here.
No, Oregon State, Washington.
Okay, no,
I mean, they're going to be the only teams
Washington
left.
State game. I'm sorry about that.
No,
but no, I think the Beavers are going to be in this game, and they're going to cover.
This is
I got confused.
many people have told me. I heard Tony Romo say, and actually Abu Malfala, who is a friend of mine who coached at West Liberty for a while, he said, without a doubt, the hardest place to play in the Pac-12 is Corvallis. He said the most hostile, barbaric fans. The atmosphere is unbelievable. It's like a circus carnival, Roman Coliseum feel. So we'll see if Washington can survive that. If they win this game, though, Coach, they've got to be in the top 4 in the playoff next week.
Absolutely.
Right? They have to be.
100%.
And what more can they do?
No.
To the SEC we go. Florida Gators on the road to the Missouri Tigers. Tigers minus 11.5. Total 59.5. Boy, Missouri's impressed me, though. They're pretty good team.
Yes.
They're right on the cusp, not quite to the top tier SEC, but they're good enough. I like them here. I don't think Florida travels well. I think Florida on the road out of the swamp is very vulnerable. Look for Missouri to take care of business here, guys, minus the 11.5. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, Florida's allowed 43.5 points a game the last 4 weeks. Missouri, I think Missouri's a good team. I really do. Huge blowout win against Tennessee last week. I think there's a lot of points in this game. I like the game over the total, and I lean Missouri a little bit.
I think Missouri as well. I mean, Florida. I mean, if they hold somebody under 24 points, they're 4-5 or 4. They've won 4 or 5, but their defense is really not good. Missouri with Corey Schrader running back and Brady Cook is in a groove for Missouri, so I'm taking the Missouri
Tigers.
Tigers.
Go Tigers. All right, back to the Big Ten we go. This will put you to sleep. This is the Insomnia's special here, NBC 7:30, Nebraska at Wisconsin. Wisconsin minus 5.5, total 37. Oh, man. I think Wisconsin absolutely stinks. I've been looking for a reason to try to take Nebraska. I can't do it with less than a touchdown, though, Coach. What do you think?
I think it's an under game. I think it's an under. I really do. Both teams will run the football. Both these teams are not good. It's a really bad game. So I say
I totally agree, but I'm taking the Badgers at home.
Okay, Chris on the Badgers, looking to bounce back after losing at home to Northwestern. Oh, boy. Camp Randall, it'll be hopping. Syracuse at Georgia Tech, another exciting game. Georgia Tech minus 6, total 53.5. I'm on the Yellow Jackets here. Syracuse does not travel well out of the dome. Georgia Tech's a team that's is still finding their identity. They changed their entire offense and everything a couple years ago. Starting to get to where they're actually a dangerous team. They can score some points. They scored some against Clemson last week. So I'm going with the Yellow Jackets minus the 6. I think they'll win this by double digits. Coach, what do you think?
Boy. This is a game that I'm not going to be sitting around all day waiting to watch, that's for sure. There's something about Georgia Tech that just bores the hell out of me.
Their uniforms are ugly. I know that.
They just play terrible football, and they're just a non-factor every year. I don't have a feel for this game at all because Syracuse has been been just
Well,
Very disappointing.
I would
Babers
just-
could be on a hot seat, Chris.
Just what you said about Georgia Tech, take that, apply that to Syracuse times 2.
I know.
I
They
mean,
just-
they're both teams are 5-5, but actually, this is my play of the week. I think.
Listen up, folks.
Listen.
What do we got?
Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Syracuse has lost 5 in a row, and the game, the one that they last won was Pitt. Pitt's 2-8, so
Yeah.
Syracuse is awful, especially even on the road. So that's my best bet of the week.
all right.
All right. LSU has another one of them off weeks. They host Georgia State, but I do think the over's in play here, Coach. It's 71, but LSU will score 60 themselves here, don't you think?
I think so, and Georgia State's given up 40+ the last 3 weeks.
It's going to be
Jaden
really bad.
Daniels is just playing out of his mind. He had 606 total yards last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I see a lot of points in this game. You just got to hope Georgia State does their part to get you over the total.
Ron Kelly will be wanting to get back on track and show some people how good of a coach he is.
Absolutely.
Texas at Iowa State, another really big game here. This is a very dangerous game. Longhorns -8 on the road, total 48. Iowa State's kind of had their number a little bit. I'm not a Matt Campbell fan at all, but I'm leaning Cyclones here if I can get over a touchdown here, Coach.
Yes, they've won 3 out of the last 4 against Texas. They've won 4 out of their last 5 this year. I think they give Texas all they want at home. A night game there. I think that's going to be crazy.
Ames, Iowa, another great
Iowa,
place to go.
I think that's going to be a crazy game. I look for Texas to win the game, but I don't think they'll cover the 8.
Chris?
I'm going with you on that, Coach. I think it is going to be close. Texas, I mean, they've won 4 in a row, but their last 2 road games, even though they've won, they were both one-score games. So I think that's going to be a close game, and they'll probably pull it out, but take Iowa State getting the points.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of good nightcaps there for you folks. The Washington at Oregon State game at 7:30, and then the Texas-Iowa State game. 2 really big games in the 7:30, 8 o'clock hours there as we conclude the college football Week 12 card here, fellas. A couple of things before we go to break, and when we come back, we're briefly touch on NBA and NHL before we jump into the NFL. I was going through Chris likes this part. Coach, you haven't been on the show yet to do this with us, but you always enjoy these service play recaps from these things.
How
So
bad was it?
It's pretty incredible. So here we go. Mark Lawrence playbook last week. He was 1-2. This puts his record in college football to 14-8 on the season, 16-13-1 in the NFL. He's not doing too bad. He did have an
That's
0-8
not
week
bad.
a couple of weeks ago. Point-wise, 5-7-2 in their star-rated selections last week. They are 17-14-2 in college football, 6-4 in the NFL overall. Not super awful, but not great.
Not making any money there.
Here's where you start to get interesting. Power sweep.
Jesus.
1-8 last week. College football in the season, they're now 24-29-2. They're 11-19 in star-rated NFL plays.
11-19, and people are paying for that.
Yeah.
Brad Powers' power ratings. Here's his. Now, on his newsletter this week, he reported that he was 1-0 last week in his best bets. I think he was 1-1. But anyway,
Hey, they're going to say what they want.
I have 1-1 for him. 27-40 on the season is his record in his best star-rated plays. He reported 1-0, but his top play last week was Arkansas. They lost 48-10.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
These next 2, you really got to call.
Red sheet. 0-6 last week. College football on the season 15-30.
That's incredible.
NFL 3-6. Winning points 0-4 last week. College football on the season 8-14. NFL 10-9.
I'd like to. Here's what I'd like to find out too. I don't know if you can dig this information up. What they charge.
Oh, I can find that.
Per week, per year,
Yep.
and people keep going back to it.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Phil-
I'd love to know. There's probably no way to find out this. I'd like to know the traffic on that, like the amount of plays they get, the amount of customers they have on their.
Some of these have been around for years.
Somebody's
buying them.
And you guys know better than I would, but these customers that are calling in and using this, eventually, when they say these guys are full
They're
of shit.
bankrupting me.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know anything. I mean, Mark, I always would get a kick out of you just going up and asking some random guy at the club, like, who you like today or something. And I mean, you'd probably have better luck with that than these guys.
Well, I mean,
and you're not having to pay any money
you look at
for
your
it.
guys' best bets. I mean, your best bets.
And I don't know anything.
Matt's 11-5. You're 9-4. I mean, that people would pay big money for that kind of
Well,
that
our
kind of
last
win.
3 weeks were up almost 45 units. Yeah, I don't see any of that happening over
I
on
mean,
this
if you're
column.
talking like $1,000 bettors or something, people are making a lot of money
Yes.
on
Yeah.
that. But when they're getting murdered by, I think Brad Powers is terrible.
He's not very good.
Bay
And
likes him.
Here's Phil Steele last week, 4-5.
I think Phil Steele is an absolute fraud.
Listen to his record on the season. College football, 47, 55, and 3.
I mean, you figure the juice there.
There's no way we could do worse than that.
You're getting murdered.
NFL, he's 8-11.
Would you buy a used car off him?
Phil Steele?
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy anything off him. I would buy nothing. I think he's a fraud. I think he's a terrible.
But
They keep selling it because
Yes.
they make it sound good. Like if they go 0-2 on their best bets, but they go 4-1 on their leans or
Right,
their
they'll
low start,
tout that.
that'll be the headline. 4-1, or like on their totals.
Right.
If they go 3-1 on their total, they'll put that as their headline, so people buy
and,
that.
You know, and guys, I remember like from years and years ago before I really knew anything about betting, and I remember seeing those guys on like Sunday morning, maybe on USA Network. And I think, man, these guys are really smart. They really know what's
Jim
going on.
Feist, Dave Koken, Scott
and Mark,
Spreitzer.
I told you that one time. I think I called one of those services. They hounded the hell out of me.
They can be
I
nasty.
called them, and then
It's
They're mean.
that
Yeah.
used to, if you
They'll
tell them no,
strong arm you.
they get nasty.
They'll call you every name in the book. We
Jeez.
can't say it because there's some lovely people eating dinner out here, but
they're nasty.
it can get really scary
Really
in a hurry. All right, let's finish it up here. Gridiron Gold 5-5 last week, 14-20 in college football plays, but they are 16-8 in NFL. So. Ooh, keep it going. Gold Sheet 4-6 last week. Now in college football on the season, 30-42-1.
It's awful. Just awful.
And then Victor King, who actually has been pretty good. He gives totals out in the NFL. 4-1 last week. He's 20-10 on the year.
save the best for last.
Yeah, so him and him, the bookends. Mark Lawrence playbook and Victor King, they've been the most credible, at least to what we've seen so far. But anyway, we're going to take a break here. Bettor's Last Stand coming to you on location from Belmont Brewerks in Martins Ferry, Ohio. We're going to take a quick break, come back with the NFL card.
Bettor's Last Stand is for entertainment purposes only, but who better to listen to than the guys here at the Pine Room? For more picks you might have missed, follow Bettor's Last Stand and all of Matt's picks on X, formerly Twitter, at BLS_PRP. Because just like General Custer, we're in Bettor's Last Stand.
All right, welcome back inside Belmont Brewerks. We're out here on this beautiful patio here for Bettor's Last Stand, show number 62. Matt, Coach, and Chris here with you. We appreciate Rick Veon and his wife having us over for a wonderful evening. Sun's starting to go down, starting to get chilly. The fire's feeling pretty warm, and hopefully we can stay warm with our best bets of the week. As Chris coming in on fire, he can keep the entire tri-state area warm himself right now.
Oh.
It's his record now, 9-4-1 in best bets. It doesn't get much better than that. Chris will probably be starting his own service here before too long behind the scenes. But we'll see what he's got in the NFL quickly. Just going through a couple things NHL-wise. We go through these goals, yes, in the first 10 minutes. The Minnesota Wild, 13-2, Chris, in their games. There's been a goal scored in the first 10 minutes. Incredible numbers there.
Wow.
So keep pounding the Wild. I know it's kind of pricey, but you can parlay them with some other stuff if you want to. The Oilers 11-3, goal in the first 10. Ottawa Senators 10-3, goal in the first 10. The Bruins, really the only team that trends towards the no, 9-6. So that's not really a strong one to play on. So that's no goal first 10 minutes for the Bruins, 9-6. First period overs, first period unders. You have the Oilers 11-3 to the over. The Buffalo Sabres 12-4 to the over, and then you have the Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild, Philadelphia Flyers all 11-4 to the over in the first period. Most of the time, will be 1.5s. Sometimes you'll see some 2s out there, and then the only team that trends to the under that's significant is the Anaheim Ducks at 9-6 to the under, but that's not even really that strong. So the overs is where it's at.
Either Buffalo, one of those 4 losses was against the Penguins, or the Penguins scored 2 in the first. How did that work? I didn't see that.
I think it was
they
1-0.
shut him out, right?
It was 1-0 at the end of one, so that was, Coach.
So that's one of their 4. That's one of their 4 unders.
That would have been one of those. Yes, absolutely. And last night they gave up 3 in the first period to the the Bruins.
Penguins are just
So streaky.
That's incredible. And I said that. They'll and then the minute I jump on them, they'll
wait till they start to lose and play on against them.
100%. I'd stick with them right now. I'd keep playing them right now.
It's amazing though that how, and not just the Penguins, just some of these teams. Like Edmonton's only has like 4 wins or 3 wins, and I think a team like that, they'll be back. I mean, it takes a long time for some of these teams to gel, and especially with the Penguins, they had so many new guys in their lineup. But so what, they've won 5 in a row. They started 3 and 6. So who knows? But they're easily capable of losing 4 or 5 in a row.
Yes,
as well.
they are.
Yeah. Well, they got the Devils who are wounded right now. Next, so
yes,
that could be another spot to play the Penguins. The Devils look like they've really lost their confidence without 2 of their 2 top centermen. So that's a big
Hughes?
loss. Yeah, Hughes and Nico Herscher. So it's going to be an issue for them, especially against the Penguins, who still have some center depth now. And they got Lars Eller as a third-line center, so not bad.
Well, Sid's playing like he's 26.
Yeah, hat trick again last night. Check the wheeling paper.
SYD?
Yeah, Sydney with SY.
SYD.
Yeah. Well, he's new to the league. He hasn't been around very much. Thanks, Jesus. Bob Nutting. All right, NBA, Chris. I don't even want to talk about this a whole lot, but look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They get Damian Lillard. They're 1-8-1 against the spread this year.
They're 6-4.
Yeah, I had the Pacers against them the other night. They blew a huge lead. The Pacers come back and actually won the game outright. Other teams against the spread that are pretty good. The Sixers 8-1, the Nets 8-1-1, Magic 7-2, and the Oklahoma City Thunder 7-3. Pacers 10-1 to the over this year. Indiana's a pretty good team. They're very well coached and they score a lot of points. So keep an eye on those. Chris, any observations NHL or NBA wise for the fans out there?
I'm just going to make a quick comment on how much of an idiot Draymond Green is.
Oh my God,
again.
that was unbelievable.
How about that?
Because
never learned his lesson.
They played 2 nights ago against the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers, 2 of their 4 wins are against Golden State. But he got tossed from that game. I don't know what he did. Oh no, he got into an altercation with Donovan Mitchell. But then that incident last night.
That was incredible.
Yeah, but I heard Adam Shine was saying, well, he got him in a headlock. I said, no, that was a freaking chokehold.
Did you hear the Joe Rogan? Did they voiced over Joe Rogan?
Oh, no.
It's unbelievable. You got to look that up. It's Joe Rogan talking about choke out. No, he's got him under the chin. No, he has him under.
Like when he was doing UFC.
The crowd's going incredible. But I tell you what, that was a little bit scary. Not scary, obviously, but a little bit tense because he was
didn't know what was going to happen next.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, you cut a guy's air off like that. It doesn't take long. For
I know. I know. It was scary.
The guy's nuts. He's crazy.
And
Rudy Gobert they still continued to invest money and bring him back to the team.
I saw Curry didn't play that. Was he resting?
No, I think it was he did have some sort of nagging injury, but I would say
he's tired of it.
And you know what? He's not really one that sits out a lot, so I don't want to beat on him too badly. But the NBA is an unwatchable product.
No, if he's hurt, he's hurt. That's fine.
If you have a team with stars on it, they never show up and play. If you have a team like the Kings or some of the Thunder, some of these teams that are young and up and coming, you actually see their players playing in the games. Pacers. So that Magic, those guys actually play in the games, so they're a lot better to follow.
So, Matt, what you're telling me is you're going to be watching the Nailers a lot.
Yes,
on
Nailers win today.
Attending the big win for
win
the Nailers today.
They blew a couple of big leads in the game, but they got the job done in a shootout after 3 shooters. So place was going nuts. The little crowd of the young kids at Toledo, it was neat. They were chanting the whole game. I listened to it on the radio a lot during the day in my office, and it's a pretty cool environment. It sounded like. So.
And we got 2 more road games with the Nailers before they come back the day before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, you'll be gone. Unfortunately for us, but fortunately for you, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll probably be going to that game. I don't know. Chris, you going to go the day before Thanksgiving to the Nailers?
I would like to. It's on the 22nd, the day before, and I've been to 3 games and enjoyed all of them. I mean, we're 1-2 the games we went to, but it's been fun.
And I'm with you, Matt. I think that Idaho team is going to be.
They'll be right there.
You're going to see them up there.
They'll make a deep playoff run. That's the best team we'll probably see live in that building this year.
I agree.
Now, Matt, I think if I looked correctly, I think it's a 28-team league. Now, do we play? We probably don't play every
No,
team.
we didn't play Idaho last year.
We do not.
Okay, because they
give them. I think they give each team 2 long road trips a year, and you play the like if you're going way out of your time zone, like west to east, I think they do 2 of those.
Okay,
and then that's it, because they don't have the travel.
I love
budgets.
that hockey. I just love it. I
great.
think it's freaking awesome down there. I think more people should go.
Yeah, people should come. You can bet on the games over at Wheeling Island Racetrack and go throw a few dollars on it. Go see the Nailers. It's a great product. It really is. It's high level hockey in a great environment. They do wonderful stuff with kids, and it's just a very. I'm not much, family-friendly atmosphere. It doesn't always, it doesn't matter that much to me because I don't care what the atmosphere is like, but it is very, very good, and they do it very rewarding, and they do a great job.
If you come to a game, come up and visit us in 308. That's where we'll be sitting probably most of the year. Be a whole gang of us for hopefully most of the games. We go up there and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd say most of the games that aren't on maybe Saturdays might be the only night of the week that's not our best night of the turnout numbers, but – I like catching those Sunday games, especially when I can avoid NFL.
It'd be nice if the Sunday game started like it's hit like 2.
Oh,
just
well,
because then you miss all the whole.
Absolutely perfect.
But you know what else might be cool is the New Year's Eve game.
Yeah,
because Isaac
that's
said
on a Sunday this
Isaac
year.
said each team can put in for 2 home games that they want to have consistently all the time. Every year, and they've Thanksgiving Eve and New Year's Eve. So
yeah, those are 2 good picks.
2 home games. So
and as far as I can remember, the Penguins do that every year too. At least with the Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
they played for years and years. The night before Thanksgiving, Pens have a home game.
I think a New Year's Eve game would be a blast.
Yeah,
too.
it's a Sunday night.
That's usually
so
like a 6 o'clock puck drop.
Yeah, I think 6 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Yeah, so
right. And then to the fans also, if they don't come up and see us at 308. Coach will probably come see you.
if you're a diehard fan,
right? He'll find you.
We want to get you on the radio and talk to you about your love for the Nailers. So anyway, on to the NFL.
All right, on to it real quick. Let's talk about bad beats real quick from last week. Washington. If you had the Washington Huskies last week, -8.5 or 9, like Coach and I did. Huskies leading 35-28 late in the third quarter. Washington linebacker, I'm sure everybody's already heard about this. Alfonso Tupatala intercepts a pass, a tipped ball, has an easy path to the end zone that literally anybody could have scored. That wasn't the problem. He just decided he dropped the ball at about the 2-yard line.
On the 2.
And his teammates didn't notice it.
They ran
the
by
Utah guy picked it up, and they recovered, and then Washington never covered. They had a chance late to kick a field goal, pretty easy makeable field goal for a good kicker, and the guy got all laces. His holder did no good for him, kicked all laces, went right to the left, and they didn't cover.
The play before the kick, Penix got sacked.
Right.
So it cost him about 7 or 8 yards, which he still should have made.
Still a short field goal.
But Lord, that's the hold. That was incredible.
If you could tell the guy how to not hold it, that was exactly how he did it.
Chris, did you see it?
I saw him drop the ball.
You didn't see then how it ended?
No.
They had another chance to cheat death in cover for people, but no.
Absolutely.
So that one hurt a lot of us in the Pine Room.
To me,
and then this one, I had this the other night.
This reminds me of Mark.
And I had the Wizards in the game, which they did cover. They blew a huge lead and did cover. They held on for dear life. The Wizards team total over 107.5. They scored 1 point in the final 7 minutes and lost 111-107.
That's impossible.
That is it.
On Monday night to the Raptors.
That reminds me, like, if we're together, like the vets or something, Mark's – it doesn't matter, Mark, but it always seems like it happens to him. And he needs just 5 points in 5 minutes, and then you clank, clank, clank. It's a foul shot. And like, how can a pro team score 1 point in 7 minutes?
The NBA has some of the most catastrophic beats each year. I mean, just like field goal droughts of 7, 8, 9 minutes. It's tough.
I tell you, watching the bad beats was Van Pelt and Stanford Steve. Those are hilarious. I absolutely love watching those and the comments they make and how that happens. You just shake your head and think, when you've seen it all, you've never seen it all. It's incredible how many. I was watching it. They had another bad beat on there. I can't even remember what game it was. It was like 24 points with 7 minutes to go in the game, and the total was 65, and they scored like 28 in 2 minutes. And a game went over by an easy good cigar smoker to go over. It's just bizarre. It's incredible.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's a tough, tough gig out there, friends. That's why you stick with the Bettor's Last Stand guys here in the Pine Room.
Right.
We're rolling along right now. We got you up 45 units the last 3 weeks. So hopefully you can buy your Christmas presents. Chris has provided Christmas for the less fortunate.
We're going to
with
get
his
into
best
Chris's,
bets.
we're getting into Chris's wheelhouse here.
So just recapping our best bets in college football. Mine is the Mountaineers, minus 6.5 at home against Cincinnati. And then we got Chris with Georgia Tech, minus 6 at home against Syracuse. And Coach's best bet, the Clemson, North Carolina game over the total. So those are our best bets in college. Now it's time to focus on Chris's real wheelhouse right here.
Whoa.
So this is
I'll
big
let
time,
him
Chris.
speak
You're in the
first.
driver's seat like you're driving an IC cab, one of our fabulous sponsors.
Yes.
Our exclusive sponsor, the 2
They're
o'clock hour of
everywhere.
our show, starting today. If you're listening to this on Friday, IC Cab, we appreciate everything they've done for us and everything they can do. They provided me transportation to work a few weeks ago. IC Cab there for all your transportation needs. They do courier service. They'll run you everywhere you need to go in the region, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, all over the place. Anywhere you need to be, they'll get you there. Download that IC Cab app today and help out Phil and the guys. They'll help you out, actually, is the better way to put it. But they're very fair. The rates are great, and you can't beat them. So
And they got to use your friendly app. I know you talked about the
it's
app
awesome. Great app.
on the radio show the other day, but yeah, they I love seeing where they're everywhere.
Their
There's not a
cars are-
day
I
that
saw
goes
one
by.
coming right out here when I was
Their
coming in.
cars are clean. They have the sign
Beautiful.
on top of some
Yes,
of them.
those are
and
nice. And I met,
real
well,
visible.
I talked to, real quick, Phil Savaggio's sister, Tina, the other day, and she was talking about how much that sign on the top of those cars has helped his
It's
business.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great.
Good for them.
Yep.
Great,
Keep up the
much
great
needed
work.
service, and they're doing a great job. All right, NFL. They're not doing a great job. Stuff's unwatchable.
Yeah,
We went to the
it's the
Naylor
worst.
game
It's
instead
the
of this
worst.
anyway, but doesn't mean we couldn't give you some winners anyway. Just don't have to watch it. Well, Chris, let's start it off right now. 1 o'clock kick, Steelers at Browns. Everything went sideways this morning. Deshaun
Jeez.
Watson out for the season. Broken shoulder. That sounds like it's made up, but 37.5 was the total. It's down to 34. Browns were around 4.5 point
it, 2
favorites.
now?
They're down to 2. The Steelers 10-2 ATS as division away dogs. Man, I don't know. This worries me a lot, but you seem to still have confidence the Browns can get this done. What do you say?
I do. I mean, it's going to be a low-scoring game, but their defense is almost going to have to be perfect against the Steelers. Although
Right.
it's not like they're facing Big Ben with Kenny. I
helps.
still like them. I mean, I think their defense. I mean, and plus, I have no faith in that DTR guy. But when he played that first game against the Ravens, he found out I think that morning that he was starting.
Right.
Because Watson was supposed to play and he couldn't. So.
He gave him the old wet slip baseball, let you know you're pitching about 20 minutes before the game.
Yeah, so, and hopefully, and I just want the Browns to exact some revenge on what they did to Nick Chubb in Game 1. So
So who you want him to hurt?
Minka.
Make him. Is he playing?
I don't know. I hope.
I hope
I
they-
don't care.
I'd like to
George
see him
Pickens,
hurt Watt.
he's a goof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
Watt too. But anyway, I'm. You know what? I think the Browns will rally around this at least for one week. They're at home, and they're. Obviously they're probably pissed because they lost.
look.
it.
And Chris,
Sugar plum
So
fairies.
I don't know. I mean, they should have never lost that first game to them. So I'm going to still stick with the Browns.
Thank you, Job.
Thank
Chubb,
you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, where are you heading? You have a different take?
Yeah, I got a bad feeling for you guys. I have a feeling you're going to be mad, Chris. You're going to storm out of wherever you are like you did at the Vets the other day when the Browns threw that interception. It's just –
And then the cheat, yeah. But
you get angry, and I wish the best for you guys, but these Steelers, it's disturbing.
They cheat death every
it's
week.
unbelievable.
they do.
And the Browns will probably outgain them. They'll probably and then your
Red zone turnovers or something?
Yeah, your quarterback will throw a bad interception or whatever. I don't know.
So you think Whitey and the boys will have the terrible towels going at the
Oh,
club?
I'll tell you
Lord.
what,
When you guys go down there at 1 o'clock to watch the game,
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I can't go that out.
No,
so.
good
Makes me
Lord,
sick.
you ain't. You guys
Keep
can't.
at the Nailers. Did Nailers play away that
They
day?
play
Maybe
away.
I'll go.
Maybe we can have a watch party.
Maybe I'll leave and
A
go.
watch party. But anyway, I do like the game under the total because I think
do
the
too.
Browns defense is really,
If the
really
Browns
good.
can somehow get the lead, just just play off
Well,
of that. I mean,
you know what the lead will be? 3-0.
Yeah.
3-0. You know that, Chris.
Maybe
but
6.
I wish
for
you
lucky.
guys the best, but I like it under a little bit.
I agree.
All right, well, whatever.
Moving along, 1 o'clock hour, keep the faith, Chris. Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. Houston -4, total 47.5. Arizona got Kyler Murray back. Houston with a great road win last week at Cincinnati when no one gave them a chance. Looked like they were going to blow it, but they got the job done. I like some points in this game. I like over 47.5 a touch. And I lean Arizona. I think Arizona's playing hard. The only thing that worries me is they may tell them, hey, guys, we can't keep winning games because we need to tank. So that worries me a touch. But I like the over in the game. That's my strongest play. Coach, where are you at here?
I mean, have you guys seen C.J. Stroud's
It's awesome.
numbers?
It's incredible.
I mean, he's thrown 2 interceptions.
Best rookie numbers I've seen ever.
He's unbelievable.
Well,
And I like Houston. Man, they fight too. You said Arizona,
Yep.
Houston.
Oh,
I said that
Houston's
beginning of the
good.
year.
I think they'll win the game, definitely.
I said Houston at the beginning of the year. I said they're
Yep.
going to give you everything they got every game.
That was one of our best bets that we had earlier in the season.
I
so.
like him. I like him in this game. I think they'll beat. I think they'll win by a touchdown.
Chris?
I don't know. See, like I wish I could go first all the time because then when I hear Mark talk, then I think, yeah, he's probably right. But I picked Arizona. I did with Murray back, and I don't think Arizona's quite as bad as 2-8.
I
No,
don't
they're
either.
not.
They
I don't
both
either.
competed. So
Had a
I'm
nice
going to
win
take
last
them.
week.
Yeah, I'm going to take them getting the points.
All right. I like it. I think Houston can win the game, but they may not win by 4. Who knows? Chargers at Packers. Chargers -3, total 44. Man, I don't know what to make of this game. The Green Bay offense got going a little bit against the Steelers last week, strangely enough. Chargers, I just can't trust them. But I can't trust either coach in this game. I think Justin Herbert's really good. I think Jordan Love sucks. Chris, we'll go to you first. Pick us a winner here, buddy.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I know they lost in a shootout against Detroit last week, but Green Bay's not very good, and they're 4-5. But both coaches are inept. But I'm
Yes.
taking the Chargers, giving them whatever it is. 3.
Coach, remember when it was tough to go to Lambeau Field? I don't think it is anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's not like it was. I one of my stronger plays. I like the game over the total.
Okay.
Not my strongest,
Ooh.
not my lock, but I like the game over the total.
All right. Like it. All right. The next one. NFC East showdown. The
Yeah,
Giants
Uncle.
at the Redskins. It'll be the Redskins / Commanders. -10, a total 37.5 out there as well. The Giants are on a 5-0 run in this series, and they won the first meeting. I like the Giants catching 10. I don't think they'll win here, but they actually moved the ball a little on Dallas last week. Dallas was starting to get a little nervous. I'm sure Tom pounded the bar a few times at the club. Sure, he was upset. Dallas, we'll talk about them later, but Giants were a little bit better than I expected last week, so I'll take them plus the 10. If I can get 10 in an NFL game, in a division game, taking the 10, I think the Redskins win the game.
Not a bad play.
And I like the under as well. Coach, what are you on?
Under.
Okay.
My lock of the week.
Oh, he's on his best bet.
Lock of the
Wow.
week.
All right.
Lock of the
Coach.
week, under.
I like it.
Giants, Commanders, under. 20 to 13, something like that. I think 13, 7.5. Love it under.
All right. I'm on that as well. Chris?
I'm going to take the Giants getting the points. I agree. It'll just be it's one of those division battles. Even
Yeah,
though
like how can the
team
Redskins
stinks.
lay 10 against anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Another division matchup here. 2 teams that did not play well last week. It'll be the Jags -6.5, total 40. Boy, the Jacksonville Jaguars 3-11 ATS as a home favorite, and that concerns me. This
I'm
is a
not
division
sold
game.
on Jacksonville.
No.
They're too up and down.
I don't like Tennessee either.
No, I don't either. But I'll lean towards the Titans getting the 6.5. I can get a touchdown. I think this is a 3-point game.
They're 2-5 against the spread.
Yeah,
this
they've
year.
not been good.
Jeez, I don't know. I
Pass.
Yes.
Pass. Maybe under.
I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
I got the under
I don't
certainly.
like
I mean, Tennessee's going to struggle to score with Will Levis. And like I said, Jacksonville, you just never know what you're going to get from week to week.
No. Terrible performance last week. Not to take anything away from Frisco. Chicago at Detroit. Another big-time division battle here. The NFC North. The
Your boy
NFC
might be
North
coming back.
division.
Yeah. He might.
Well,
is it official?
Let me just say
I know
this.
I'm playing Detroit if he does.
Me too, Coach. and it's 9.5 right now, down to 8.5 at some spots based on Fields playing. The total 47. So I went through today and went through what this matchup of Fields and Badgett has been. And I cannot understand, and I mentioned this on the radio, why are people clamoring for Justin Fields to come back? Why are people saying on TV, sports betting shows, ESPN, boy, I really like the Bears if Fields plays. Why in the world? Have you not paid
What's his
attention?
record?
Have you not watched? So Justin Fields, let's just go through a few things here really quickly. Justin Fields, his career record as a starter, 6-25. His record this year, 1-4. Badgett's record is 2-2. I'm right there. You can stop. But here we go. Badgett completion percentage 65.7. Fields 61.7. He's better there. Yards per game. Badgett 214.7. Fields 200.2. Touchdowns per game. Then this is rushing and passing. Fields gets him two per game to 1.75. Small difference there. Interceptions 6 in 4 games versus 6 in 5 games. Okay, so they're tied there. Here's the one that stands out immensely to me. Fields has been sacked 24 times for 143 yards of losses. Badgett's been sacked 5 times.
I think everybody's sold on Fields because he does the shit like Kyler Murray
his
does.
athleticism.
Yeah, and he does that stuff like Kyler Murray does, and Tua do. They run around and they can make electric plays.
Right.
But in a big game, when he has to stand in the pocket, make a big throw,
and they
he
get
can't
sacked,
do it.
or he throws an
And I'd
interception.
rather go Tyler Bagent than freaking Fields.
Yep.
I agree.
No. Bagent all the way. He's the guy.
I'm betting the Lions.
If you
I am
take
too.
the Bears here based on Fields playing, you're
an
a
idiot.
fool. And a matter of fact, I would say this will be my best bet of the week if Fields plays. It will be the Lions, but we'll see. That's pending. We'll see. But Lions minus 9.5, 8.5, whatever you can get it at. I hope it does go down when Fields plays because then I'll get more on it. So I have no faith at all. Fields is like 2-12 ATS. This is awful. An awful run for the Bears with him.
Yeah, I like the over in the game.
Okay, Chris on the over. Good alternative viewpoint. Fields might throw a couple pick sixes. Raiders at Dolphins. 1 o'clock kick here. Dolphins minus 12.5. Total 48. I like this game over the total. Raiders have a little swagger back now. Dolphins will beat up on this bad team like they
Dolphins.
always do.
I'm taking the Dolphins. Dolphins will beat the shit. I mean, Vegas has won 2 in a row since they changed coaches with Antonio Pierce, but they beat both New York teams, I think, back to back.
They did.
And barely beat them. So. And in Miami,
with you.
I think Miami will go off
Coming
on this
off
team.
a bye week, Miami.
Yes.
I'm with you.
All right. Coach on
gotta
the
sneeze.
Dolphins as well as bless you, Coach. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit. All right. Dallas
Gesundheit.
at Carolina. Dallas minus 10.5, total 42. This, to me, seems like a game Dallas should win this easily, but I don't
28.
trust them at all here. I just don't. Something about Big Mike on the road. Chris, I don't like it on grass. I think they mess around and they barely win.
I agree. I'm with you.
I got Dallas circled. I'm taking. I know it's the NFL and you don't know what
Lot
the
of
hell's going to
lot
happen.
of large
My
spreads this week.
goodness, I mean, Panthers are terrible. I think Bryce Young's. I mean,
Yeah, they are. But I don't know how good Dallas is on the road.
I know, but you know what? I'm taking Big Mike over Frank Reich. So
Yeah, well, that's kind
Big
of
because
Mike.
Big Mike is kind of. There's a couple weeks that.
I've been on Big Mike a few times, but I only trust Big Mike at home when he's getting his massage.
But did
Oh.
Big Mike put money in your pocket?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay,
But
all right.
but he'll take it away in the playoffs, so I guarantee you that. He's like the Grinch.
Yeah.
He'll take it right out of your
Oh.
stocking. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. San Fran minus 11.5, total 42. San Fran looks like they're back healthy. They got Chase Young. Things are looking really, really good for them right now. They're on a 13-2 ATS run at home. Chris, does Baker and the boys go into San Francisco and give them anything?
Absolutely not. No. The Niners just whacked Jacksonville last week. I'm sorry. And no, I mean, although Baker's been playing pretty well, but I think that's too tall of a task to go out there in 49er country. So
Yep.
I'm giving the points.
Could be a bloodbath
Yeah.
for Cooley's Bucks versus Brad's 49ers
Me too.
coach. What do you say?
Niners, the 4:30 game. I'm on the Niners.
I'm on the under in this game. I think the Niners will kill them. I think Tampa will struggle to score here. I think the Niners will be in that backfield. Mayfield may be the headless horseman by the end of this game. Seattle at the Rams, another division battle in the NFC. It'll be Seattle and 1 on the road, total 46. The Rams have burned me several times this year. I still think they're not bad. Stafford's supposed to play, so that makes me feel pretty good about it. I like under in the game, and I'm leaning towards the Rams, but I don't know, Coach.
I am too.
Chris?
And what's the certainty on Stafford? Because
it looks like he's going to play. He said he plans on playing.
No,
So.
I'm taking the 3-6 Rams.
Yep.
Seahawks are tough to bet,
They are.
but so are the Rams.
Yeah.
Both teams have killed me. I'm going to play the Rams at home.
Okay, Coach on the Rams.
Pretty much a
I like
pick in
the under,
game.
but yeah, it's a pick. It's a coin toss division
Yeah.
game, going to be tight. Jets at Bills. Oh boy, both these teams coming off a horror show
man.
week there. Bills -7 again. Bills continue to lay 7 and 8 and 9 points in these games. Their power ratings are high, and their performance is just not backing it up. They fired Ken Dorsey. The total 40 in this game. I like the under. Division game. I think it's going to be a really tight
good
game.
call.
I don't see the Bills. I can't back the Bills laying 7 against anybody, Coach.
No, and the Jets are so bad. I mean,
Zach Wilson.
and you hate to keep betting on or beating on Zach Wilson, but he's not good. They're not good.
But every now and then I'll watch him and he'll do something like, man,
Yeah,
that's a nice.
Consistently during the game,
I know.
he just and the Bills are not even a shadow of themselves what they were last year, 2 years ago.
Well, I know.
They are, and Diggs is
He's a
He
pre-
wants
yeah.
out.
Yeah, he wants. Did his brother post something like?
Yeah, he's bitching now. They're not throwing enough to him, and then they said Josh Allen told him go put on a Broncos uniform or whatever. So that they're a mess. But I can't bet the Jets. I like this game under too, Matt. I'm with you.
Chris?
Under.
All right, we're all on the under there. All right, Minnesota at Denver, the Sunday night game, which suddenly has turned into a game with two
not a
teams
bad
playing
game.
all right.
No, it's really not.
Minnesota Vikings and Josh
And you know what,
Dobbs.
too, about it, too? It's not the same freaking teams we always see on Sunday night, it seems. Like,
Yeah,
we
a little
don't see,
different. A little different. You're not getting the Giants. You're not getting the Niners.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Cowboys, Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota at Denver, as we said. Denver -2, total 43. I lean Minnesota here. I'm
I
still
do
not
too.
real sold on Denver, but I think they've been a little bit better.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
I
That
bet
Dobbs
you
should
guys
be
wish
start-
you had him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, absolutely. Minnesota's defense greatly improved, and I think that their coach has done a pretty good job. O'Connell, he's done a good job.
Well, we blasted him, too, last year. We beat
Yeah.
him
Well, I
pretty
thought he
good.
was. I
know.
thought he was really I thought he just lacked that kind of gritty toughness that you need to be able to make key decisions.
They're 6-4.
He's been pretty good this year. I'll give him that. But it's helped that his defense has been upgraded a lot. So, Coach, where are you going in this game?
Man. Oh man, that's a tough one because I thought
Excruciating.
honestly I'm not just saying this because I get gut feelings about. I thought Denver was the best bet on the card last week, only getting 7.5 from the Bills.
Yeah.
When I first originally looked at that, I thought the Bills should be giving them like 10.5,
Right.
11, and they were only giving them 7.5. And honestly, the Bills never were a threat to cover in that game. Never a threat to cover. Now they were a threat to win the game, obviously. Never a threat to cover. They never were. They were always behind, and then the only time they were up was late in the game. They were up 2. No, they were up 1. Were they up 2? Up 1. Up 1.
Up 1.
And then so I thought Denver was a great play, and I'm going to play Denver a little bit in this game.
Okay, Coach on Denver. Chris, where'd you end up here?
No, I went with the Vikings, man.
Okay.
I think if it wasn't Josh Dobbs, I'd probably go with the Bills. But I mean, not the Bills, but the Broncos. But he stepped in pretty well, and like I said, I wish he was starting for the Browns on Sunday.
Yes, that would be nice. And they're going to get Justin Jefferson back, and maybe Vikings are a team to be reckoned with in the NFC, which all of a sudden, and I meant to mention this to you guys earlier, we thought at the beginning of the year that the AFC was the better conference. I'm not certain that it is. I think the AFC only has it. Now that the Browns just lost to Sean, they were a team that I said on the radio last week that I thought that were one of 3 teams in the AFC that could win the Super Bowl. Now it's down to 2, in my opinion. The Ravens, who won't, and the Chiefs. And I don't see anybody else.
You got the Niners, the Cowboys, the
Eagles.
The Lions.
Lions, Eagles, now the Vikings in a little bit of contention.
So
the NFC, that's what I'm saying. The NFC is
might have shifted a little bit.
where it seems like they're the deeper conference now.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works. All right, final game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Eagles at the Chiefs, colossal matchup. It's the two teams that faced each other in the Super Bowl last year. Eagles will be looking for some redemption here. I lean the Chiefs. I like the under in this game. Kind of like first half under in this game. I think this will be a really close battle, guys. What do you think, Coach?
Ooh, man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm going to lead Chiefs a little bit, but
You can get less than the field
just
goal.
because they're at home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with the Chiefs, and a really intriguing stat. 31 years as a coach, now 24 as a head coach. Andy Reid is 27-4 coming off of a bye week.
He's the best there is.
Off of a bye week at home on a Monday night, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Great insight, Chris. I know he's the best off the bye.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, so we all lean Chiefs in that game. All right, Chris, what was your best bet?
Oh, my best bet, I'm sorry to mention, it is the Dolphins over the Raiders.
All right,
That's my
so your best bet, Dolphins.
Yeah.
That's your best bet.
Yes, yep.
And Coach's best bet was
I got the under in the Giants and Commanders.
The Giants Commanders. Okay.
Yep.
And my best bet was the Lions, pending Justin Fields.
All right.
If he plays,
if he doesn't play, what do you give us your best?
If he doesn't play, then my best bet on the card this week will be the Browns-Steelers under the 34. So that's plan B. We'll have these all on BLS_PRP on our Twitter/X. You can follow everything on our social media at the Pine Room Studios, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever. Chris, you got something to say?
I just want to ask you a real quick question. I know this will happen before this is on social media. What about tomorrow night's game? Only because we talked to you yelled at me about Joe Burrow. They're playing your Ravens, and this is a huge game.
Well, it's big. It's even bigger now. It's really big, a little bit bigger for the Bengals because now you got the Browns without their quarterback. The Ravens win this, they got a shot at the top seed in the AFC. They gave away a game last week, which was tough, but at least the Browns benefited from it. I lean Ravens in the game, but I'm not laying 4. I think this will be a field goal game. But Ronnie Stanley's not playing the left tackle. That's a problem. Marlon Humphrey's not going to play. I don't know. They got some issues. They
have trouble holding leads.
They do. They're stupid. They throw the ball.
The
and they
Ravens?
don't need to. Yeah. They should be undefeated. I know that sounds stupid.
I can't believe the Browns beat them.
They've been in control.
That's why I got pissed
of every
off
game this season.
Can't
they
believe the
should have
Browns
never
beat
lost.
them. Yeah, so
that'll be. It should be.
So
it's a good
at
Thursday
least,
game.
hey, let's say this. At least it's a good Thursday night.
I might actually turn it on for
God.
that.
Absolutely.
We'll see. All right, we're going to take a break here. Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to come
Rick
back.
Veon.
We're going to be back with the man, Rick Veon, Belmont Brewerks. He's been kind enough to host us. We're going to talk to him about his wonderful place here. It's Bettor's Last Stand, live from Belmont Brewerks. We'll see you in a minute.
Reminder, this show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activities should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. All right, men, load the cannons and hold the line. You're listening to Bettor's Last Stand.
All right, welcome back inside Belmont Brewerks. Our Bettor's Last Stand show's just wrapped up, and now we're joined in a Pine Room exclusive by Mr. Rick Veon, the owner of this fine establishment, Belmont Brewerks, Martins Ferry, Ohio. Absolutely beautiful, Rick. It's only the second time that I've been here. I came here once briefly. I should be coming here a lot more. This place is beautiful. Thank you so much for having us. It is just amazing. Your stuff, everything here is just gorgeous. Top end. Food is wonderful. This beer that we're drinking is great. Your home brew. Everything's been just perfect. We appreciate you having us. How's everything going?
Good. I'm very fortunate that the weather's been so nice. Can't use the courtyard anymore, but
right.
It's still nice outside. People
It
are
is.
still getting out, and
It is.
and coming in, and it's Wicked Wednesday wing night.
Tell us about that. What's that consist of?
It's 75-cent wings. We have 9 different sauces to choose from that we make, and usually we have a beer special too. And we just want you to come in and have some wings and ice cold beer.
Relax. Beautiful. I love the ambiance, the setting. I'm a very big setting guy, and this is awesome. It's very well lit, just perfect. Not too bright. Just a great atmosphere. It was just. I know we talked to you about this on the radio, but did you guys always kind of have in mind the patio setting and this kind of just the way everything is?
Yeah, it pretty much came to exactly what we were looking for. Once we got this all screened in for winter and stuff, the inside's small, but the patio's still warm and everything. But, everything came together pretty good.
It's a very, very comfortable setting. How many employees? Everybody here has been super nice and looks like they're very good at their job. So how many employees do you have? You can give me a
13.
ballpark. 13. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get some full time. I mean, Justin's one of my managers over
Yeah.
there, and they work a lot of hours, and then like Amy, she only works a couple days a week because she's a banker, and
Sure.
we only hire friendly faces. I mean, it's what it is.
They've been
We're
great.
here. Hospitality's hospitality. That's all
Yes.
you got to do is smile.
They know what
and-
they're doing, Rick. You're doing a great
yeah.
job.
And if you don't, smile and act like you do, like Dancing with the Stars. That's what
Yeah,
I
there
did.
you go. All right.
Except for I forgot to smile.
Here's the thing that impresses me, and I haven't eaten the food yet. We're gonna probably Matt and I and
Yep.
Chris will probably
Gonna
eat
get those
after
wings, baby.
We're done. The beer is just incredible. It tastes a lot like our Pine Room lager. It's really delicious. I'm probably going to drink too many of them tonight. But here's the thing that impresses me: your genuine friendship to people. Like I feel like we're family now. Like you're part of like the Pine Room. You're part of our family. You like Jub and Jarrett and the boys all said you gave them like 30 hugs at the Dancing with the Stars. You hugged us. I mean, you're genuinely friendly and want people to enjoy the experience here and like become part of Belmont Brewerks as you want to become part of the Pine Room podcast and the Pine Room group. Is that your, like, besides having a wonderful establishment here, is that one of your goals to just make people feel at home?
Yeah, it should be when you own a restaurant or any kind of hospitality industry. You want to make them feel at home, and there was just something about the Pine Room people that made me want to be your friends.
Oh,
made me
that's
want to
great
be
to
a
hear.
part of that because it's genuine, like you
Yes.
said. It's not fake. You
Yes.
can't you can't fake a hug. I mean, I don't just hug people.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But it's like I ran into the hockey game the other night.
Yes,
First
yes.
thing, you held the door open for me and my wife, and I was like, dang, dude, this is good. You know?
Yes, and that's just the way it is. And I can tell just the way I've watched you here, just going around to the tables, talking to people, and you're not just doing it to make money and bring. You're doing it because you like people. I can tell you like people. You're a people person, and that's why, in my opinion, that's why you're going to be successful as opposed to people that don't have that capability to do that, and you have that just special talent.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. And to be brutally honest, it's really not that hard to be nice.
It
I don't
does.
understand
Very
why people,
well said.
it's just be nice.
Very
I
well
mean-
said.
I mean, like I said, you guys are my brothers now.
That's
And
unbelievable. That's
we
what I
haven't
said.
known
be.
each other that long, but I see you out and about, and bam, you guys get hugs.
I
And-
love it.
And we're the same way, and your wife seems the same way too. What a wonderful person she is. You outkicked your coverage there a little bit, but it happens. And
And how often are you and your wife here? Pretty much every night?
I'm here every day, and she works whenever she needs to fill in.
Sure,
and,
That's great. You can see how much it means to you all, and your employees the same way. Just everything's just been so well done. Just and we go to a lot of places, and it's not just even when we're in Pine Room form where we're doing a show or whatever. But we frequent a lot of places, bars, restaurants, and Coach and I, we notice that stuff sticks out very quickly. You can tell who has it together, who doesn't, and your staff has been amazing. But they're led by example. I'm sure you recruited great people, and you're the head coach, and you're doing a wonderful job. You guys are just have something really special here, and we're very proud that you had us over here.
Oh, I hope we do it again.
Oh,
this is like and you guys keep thinking that, we invited you. It's we wanted you.
No,
I mean, there wasn't even a second thought about that when it came up. It's like, yes.
Well,
and
we're very, very proud to hear that.
and it's not even because you're a podcast or anything.
Right.
It's because we hit it off.
Yeah, no.
And
And there's something to be said for when you feel comfortable with people and you immediately come in here, and I felt like this is awesome. This is like you feel like you're in somebody's living room and your family members. It's really, really cool. Let's talk a little bit about the Dancing with the Stars of High Valley. Overall thoughts from the experience. We had you on the radio show before you did it. You were in training back then.
Dancing.
your wife's saying it's too hot, but here's
yeah.
the thing. It was too hot about an hour ago. It's getting
getting
very,
better now.
very cozy in here now.
Yeah.
It's getting very cozy. So back to Dancing with
Yeah.
the Stars.
So what were your thoughts, Rick? Would you do it again? Did you enjoy it? It's all right. You don't have to answer that part.
I tell you what, I wasn't nervous at all until Saturday morning.
Right.
And we didn't see anybody else dance, so I thought everybody would be as clumsy like I was. And we were second dancers, and the first group went on before us. And I looked at my partner and said, I'm not doing this tonight. I said, I'm not going on after them. And she's like,
and they end up being the winners, right?
They ended up being the winners. And then the 10 people after me did great. I'm just like, what? No. I said, it's out of my element. It was for a super good cause.
No. Listen, you gave a great effort, and you know what's awesome is you understand that the whole purpose of the night was the fundraiser itself.
Yeah,
and that's awesome that you're able to understand that.
And here's
and
the
not
other
take
thing.
it too hard.
Here's the other thing. I was there, and guys like me and Chris and other guys that were there so we're thinking. I know, I don't know, but I do know how Rick Veon feels up there. He has no dancing background at all. He is just doing this because they called you to do it. You're doing it for, as Matt said, for a good cause. And you got up there, and honestly, to be honest with you, I had so much respect for you just going out and doing that when you knew that this isn't my strength.
Yeah,
I'm
completely out of his element, right?
But you did what you could do with the best you could do, and the people appreciated that, especially the people that can't dance either. That's saying, oh, my God, I feel I'm like Rick Veon right now up there doing what you – but it ended up working out great. You guys, the whole thing was phenomenal, and win or lose, you guys, you raised money for a great cause, and the people – I had – first time I ever been there. I would go back. I'll go back because I had an absolute blast, and I commend you for doing it and getting up there in a very uncomfortable situation for you.
Yeah, and – I'm a very happy guy. I'm a very outgoing guy, very happy guy. How in the world do you forget to smile? Because that's all they said was, all you got to do is smile, you know? And I'm up there like...
Because you're concentrating on trying your steps.
There was a stick in the wrong orifice in my body. I couldn't, and I'm not like that. And even at the awards, if you watch it again, when we were getting awards, we all got trophies, and I was holding on to it like this, if you look at it, because it had to be pointed out to me. I'm like, and I wasn't smiling. I was sitting there looking around, holding on to this trophy like I was going to drop a baby. And I was like, what happened to me?
You had a little PTSD, I guess.
Oh, my God. We weren't even doing anything. I was just standing there.
It's a tough night. But you did really well. We're proud to have seen you on there and being a part of it.
Let me go back to that. What do you think why do you think you didn't smile? Was it the anxiety, the fear, the knowing that you weren't going to do like the rest of them, or all of it combined?
All the above.
All the above.
Even when it was over, we had a couple beers downstairs, and I thought I'd relax. They put me back on the stage again just to get an award. We didn't have to say anything. I did the same thing. I mean, I couldn't even I couldn't even give a shout.
You know what? I chalk it up to exhaustion, mental and physical exhaustion.
That is truly funny, Rick.
Yeah.
I
can see myself doing the exact same thing.
I'm just
Rick.
smiling now. It's simple.
Like this.
It seems very easy.
Like anywhere else you go in your life, 99% of the time you're smiling, you're easy with it, no matter what who you're talking to, where you're at, whatever you're doing, you're smiling. But that particular moment, just something happened in your brain where it wouldn't let you smile.
Nope.
Well, he saved all his smiles for when he's hosting people here in this wonderful place. So,
I wish I could do it. No, I don't wish I could do it again. But if I could go back in time, I would take my mouth up or something like
you'd be like the Joker.
Yeah,
you'd paint a smile.
Instead of taking dance lessons, you take smiling lessons. Which you don't have a problem with. You just got to remember to do it at the right time, which is tough because I sure couldn't. That's anyway. It's another chapter. You had it.
Year.
Oh boy,
both you guys get to do it next year.
I think Coach has a good history to dance.
No, I got bad knees.
He could do all right.
I want to talk about this for a little bit. This is the Belmont Brewerks Lager. You have 3 different beers in there. 4 in there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I only thought 3.
Well, because the Purple Elephant
is that yours?
It's our wheat beer.
Oh, okay.
That we use a blueberry compote
Which I saw,
or blueberry puree.
Jarrett and Patty got those over there.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about that because we've sort of dove in just a little bit. I mean, you're in head first all the way, but we've dove in a little bit with the Pine Room Lager, and this tastes quite a bit like. Do you agree with that, Matt? Matt tastes a lot like the Pine Room Lager.
It's good. What's the alcohol content? Do you have any idea?
On the lager,
Yeah.
I think it's
4 or 5?
5.6.
Oh, is that
yeah.
high?
Okay. Wow.
Okay,
It's
so
delicious.
But it's
Absolutely
always
delicious.
different because of the way it's brewed. It's not like
Yeah,
I
so
guess
every
it's
time
a
it
comes out a little bit
it's
different.
A
Right,
small
right.
brewer,
Right.
you know.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's start with how you got involved with
There's a beautiful array of beers going to
yes,
that table right
coming
there.
out
Flight
there.
of beer,
Yep.
yeah.
how you got involved with brewing your own beer, where you do it, and what your thoughts on the whole process.
Well, I had some recipes, which is good, but I have never wanted to brew my own beer. Because if I had to make anything, I would distill bourbon and make cheese. That would be the
like
two
that.
things that I would do.
Because you're not a beer drinker, you're a bourbon drinker.
I'm a
right?
bourbon drinker, and
And you must be a cheese eater.
I love cheese. I mean, but I would make that, and brewing your own beer at a level as small as we are, it can be very costly. Especially if you're not the master brewer. But you have to have the vats, the systems, everything. And I know you guys are like Hoodletown, who brews my
Yeah.
beer. Mike is an amazing guy. I mean, he takes all that pressure off of me.
Yes.
And all I have to do is go pick it up. And,
It's nice to have a good ally, right?
So, yeah.
So are you the mastermind behind the recipe of the beer?
No, sir.
Okay, so you're what? So what is your involvement in like deciding what beers you want?
Well, I only have 4. It always is the same.
But how did you come up with the lager, the wheat, the stout, lager, wheat, stout, and what's the
Lager,
other?
wheat, stout, and ale.
And ale.
Yeah.
How did you? Was that you and Hoodletown came up with those?
No,
4?
no, it was previous. He's just making the beer now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where is that? Where is your beer?
Hoodletown's in Dover. And if you've
Dover
never been
High,
there,
all right.
it's a cool place.
The Dover
Tornado.
Tornadoes. I think that's their high school mascot.
It is.
Oh, yeah?
It is.
I
It
wouldn't
is.
know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
It's intimate like this,
Uh-huh.
where they have big garage doors that go up and down, so it goes out to their patio. You can see their whole facility when you're eating in there. You can literally
that's neat.
see the process of them brewing.
Wow.
And the food is killer, and Mike is such a good guy, and the staff's like mine. I mean, you just hire, and if you're not going to smile and don't want to be here,
then- Right.
don't be here.
Now, does your beer go anywhere but here?
No, I don't have that license.
So this is just your beer just comes here.
Correct. I can, and I don't know how this works or why it works. I can sell you a growler.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You
that
know,
makes
a
sense.
64 ounce or a 32, and I don't understand why I can do that.
Oh,
But it has to be a separate one if I sell you a can.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
and it's hard to get
oh,
that
oh, I
license.
see.
And this is the only one I want after restaurants in Chicago. I just
Yeah.
I don't want to get deeper into this than I am right now. I just like the simplicity of this place.
So
Whatever you're doing is working.
That's
Rick.
what
It's
that was
amazing.
going to be my next question. So, when you took over this place, where we're sitting now, did this exist?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we painted. We made it our own.
Did you enclose it, or was it already enclosed?
It was I'd never seen it enclosed before.
So you
But
had
they
like
had-
the
they had it
deck
all.
overhanging, like the patio,
everything was
and then
here.
obviously they put the vinyl
Yeah,
siding.
they
down.
put it
Yep.
up in when we call them in October and take it down in April.
And then the outside with the turf and the picnic
courtyard.
tables.
Yeah,
That's your
No,
doing?
it was there when I got here.
That was there. Okay.
We changed it around again. We made the landscaping more beautiful, and
Yeah, it looks
Um,
wonderful.
put umbrellas up there that match. Put the picnic tables out there.
So is this where you are now? This is it. This is. You're not there. You obviously can't expand anymore because you're on a street here, so you can't.
Well, we can. The next door is available to us, but the guy who owns the building, until I buy it, I don't get next door.
Oh, okay.
But I get first shot at buying it when he's ready to sell it.
Okay.
It was a jewelry store, and it's still just empty.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to rent it. He wants me to buy the building.
Oh, okay. So let's talk a little bit about your menu. Let's talk to menu here. Do you tweak your menu like on a regular basis, or
I think I recall you having different things
Right.
on the menu
Um,
throughout.
So the black menu, the threefold menu that's on their table right there, that stays pretty consistent.
Right.
Just because it's it's expensive to change the menu all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But there's
yes.
flyers, there's table tents that you see over
Specials.
there. Specials.
Okay.
The boards outside. Anything
Yes.
I come up with something new. Because I don't want to change the menu if it's not going to work.
Right.
Right,
You know,
right,
I
right,
put
right,
something
right.
on there that it doesn't work. But, you know, it's, you know, once we find it works, it goes on there. I mean, I'd probably change the menu, that main menu, at least once a year.
Oh, the main, the big,
Yeah.
okay, your big menu.
And then the other ones, fall sandwiches, spring sandwiches, you know, stuff that works that's not ready to go on the menu yet, like the filet tip hoagie if you haven't had that.
Ooh, good preview.
Yeah.
Is that a killer?
Oh, yeah, because it's like a
Sounds
Philly
wonderful.
cheesesteak, but we
With
use
filet.
filet.
Oh, boy.
my Lord.
You know, it's got the sautéed onions, peppers, and the cheese that we use, the sharp white cheddar cheese from New York.
Yeah.
is
You're a cheese guy, right?
Oh, I'm a cheese guy. There's, I mean, even in like our
Jump
American
shaking his
cheese,
head.
our American cheese is killer.
Really?
Yeah,
I love a good
because
cheese
there's
on
good
anything.
American cheese, not the kind you cellophane cheese.
Yeah.
I mean,
Johnny's a cheese guy.
byproduct.
Yeah, our
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah. Job just mentioned your croutons. Talk about those. Job came home one day and said, "You got
the steak salad. Oh, you like those?
yeah,
it's
Crouton connoisseur.
yeah."
So-
listen to this, Matt. These croutons.
So it's a
I
steak
remember on the
salad.
radio, yep.
We use the filet on there too, so it's not you're not getting a piece of
yeah.
you know
Steak
flank
'em.
steak or
Right.
something.
Steak 'em,
It's
right.
like steak 'em. And the feta cheese that melts on there is great. And I didn't want croutons. I mean, not that I'm anti-crouton
No, no,
fan,
no,
but,
you're
you know,
saying.
it's like
Right.
it's burnt bread, you know, toast, and so we came up with this cheese that it's frozen, but when you put it in the deep fryer for 30 seconds, it crusts all the way around.
Oh my goodness.
Like a cheese
And-
curd, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Lord.
a cheese curd or a cheese stick.
Yeah.
And when you bite into it, and you think it's a crouton. It
awesome.
literally just pulls
Oh
apart.
Explodes.
my
I love
goodness,
it.
Matt! What are we gonna do here when we eat? I
don't
want to
know.
eat. I want to eat wings.
Well, I gotta
wanna
try
eat
the
this-
wings.
I want to eat this Philly steak.
I
This,
know
this
everything.
Steak. I wanna
Filet
eat
tip
with something
sandwich.
with the croutons.
Yeah.
Oh Lord! Well, you know what they have to do? We'll have to come back.
We'll just
again
have to
and again
come
and
back
again.
and back
do
some
this
more.
anytime you want here. I mean,
Yeah.
we're wide open. We love, like I said, it's more of a pleasure for us to have you here than it is for you to be here.
Oh,
for
that's
you.
that's
It's-
awesome.
We couldn't wait.
No, that's very kind of you.
And
It is. Now I got another question. You seem very, very, very community oriented. You're doing well here, but you want to give back to the community. You've done many things. You said we were
Well, he just danced with the stars. He gave back to the
yeah.
community
Well,
there.
and
that should be good for a year then, right?
and then
Yes.
and then he does the nailers. The
Yes.
what do we do at the nailers? The
The golden goal.
Yeah, Golden Goal.
Yeah.
Golden Goal. So you sponsor them. I'm sure you sponsor Martins Ferry Little League team, whatever you do
A
here.
lot.
Yeah. So
booster
you're
clubs
really
and-
involved in the community, and that how much does that mean to you?
It means the world. I mean, I probably get 100 donation asks a week, but I always take care of the Martins Ferry people.
That's awesome.
You know, the Lensley, the Central, where I went to school, where my daughters go to school.
Yes.
Whaley Park. I just try to take care of as many as I can.
As many as you can. You can't
You
do
know,
it all.
Yeah.
And I came up with a pretty good idea last year because I was supposed to be involved with a scramble, a pretty big scramble, like 100 people scramble, and all the holes were taken. All, you know, like the card, everything
right.
with my brand in there was taken. And I'm like, well, I really want to be involved. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be your beer sponsor.
There you go.
So I had him wrap like my logo around the beer cart, and I
Oh,
bought all
nice.
the beer.
Oh,
for
really?
them. Yeah.
It's a good
Oh,
idea.
I never
Yeah.
thought of that. That's a cool idea.
Because if I want to get in somewhere, I'm going to get in.
Yeah,
you
right,
know?
right,
And it's not because of the publicity, but it was for a very
That's
good
perfect.
cause, you know. And I couldn't figure out how to get in. I'm like, well, who buys your beer? And I was like, well, we do with that. I said, I'll buy all your beer. You just put a banner around
Oh, my goodness.
as many golf carts. as-
See, very innovative,
You
Rick.
have.
Well done. That's
Yeah,
good
all right.
stuff.
And then I have one more question. I'll throw it to Matt, and then we'll let you get back to work here. What gives you the most satisfaction in what you have done over the past? How many years have you been here? How many years have you been here?
Going on 2.
Okay, going on 2 years, and your involvement just in the community. What gives you the most satisfaction?
To see the customer enjoy the food, because it's it's not only about hospitality, but the quality of the food. We don't skimp on anything. There's nothing that's not fresh.
Yes.
You know, it's the soups, the salads. I mean, everything is fresh because I don't want to just be a generic restaurant.
Right.
And you can tell the difference in the flavors by how fresh everything is.
No doubt.
From
No
the
question.
pies to the salads to the soup to the burgers, which gets dropped off every day by Jacobs and Sons. If you've never been there,
Oh, yeah, they're
my
the
goodness.
best.
my goodness,
The
they are
best.
such good friends of ours and so good to us. They do our own burger blend for us, and you know, it's like I wouldn't care if you came in and said, "Oh my God, this is the best food ever." I like to hear people say, "Oh my God, this is so consistent."
Yes.
Right.
Consistently
that's
fresh.
Right.
That's
That's
good.
really
consistently
important
good.
part of
Very
us.
good.
You know, and because if you tell me that, then I know it's good. And
Yes.
you've been here before.
Right.
But consistency is the main thing
No
with
question.
your food. You
No
know, you
question.
shouldn't get a hamburger this way one day and a hamburger this way one day, or
When you know it's that good and you come in and you're craving it, it should be that good every time. You're exactly right.
Well, and I give you a perfect example. Like if you go to a pizza shop, there's pizza shops
Oh,
in this valley that one day you get a good batch, and the next day
Yep.
it's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
it's a shitty batch.
Yep.
It's not good. So
Yep.
you're like, I'm not going to go back there because I don't know whether I'm going to get the
Yeah,
good or the
it's
bad.
a coin flip. When
Yeah,
you come
so-
here, it's never a
so you
coin
come
flip.
here,
You know what you're getting. Perfect
and
every
I bet
time.
and I bet you have a lot of return customers, don't you?
yeah, I know a lot of people in here, and they're always welcome with a smile, hugs,
Yeah,
whatever
there
it
you go.
takes. You know,
Definitely.
my wife knows a
Makes
ton
you
of
feel
people
good.
knew Patty.
Yeah,
You know, when she came in, and you know, made sure they talked to each other and caught back up.
Job. Any
And-
questions?
Oh, he's got a side order of croutons. Hey, I got to get Jub's verdict on this burger too. Have you had a burger here yet? Have you had a burger here yet? Okay, because Rick has his own like custom burger
From
meat.
Yeah, it's a
Jacob and
blend
Sons.
for
Yeah.
us, yeah.
So I
You-
can't wait because he's a big burger guy. So I'll be
It's about
interested
the bread,
to get
too.
that. Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if you
Oh,
ever listen
no
to
doubt.
my,
We say that all the time.
My-
The bread makes the sandwich.
yeah, my
No doubt about it.
Oh,
like,
Lord,
if-
what
if
do we
you
got
ever,
here?
The crouton, Coach.
If you ever listen to my interviews with Steve Novotny, when he says it, it's always
Oh.
about the bread.
Oh my God.
So
He's 100% right
Oh, my
about
God.
that.
if you haven't had like the Slingin' Sinatra, which is just everyone thinks it's just an Italian hoagie, but
Oh.
the herb focaccia that we use on the Slingin' Sinatra makes
Job.
the sandwich.
That is, oh,
That's worth the trip right there, ladies and gentlemen. This crouton right here. Get the salad. Amazing. And ask for extra croutons if you're
Oh,
able
Lord
to.
in heaven.
Beautiful. Rick, can't thank you enough for having us. I know you said it was your pleasure. It
It's
was
our
our pleasure,
pleasure.
too. We were happy to come visit, do a
and
show
hopefully
here.
we're a
We're
partner
gonna be back
for a long,
and,
long time.
Oh yeah, please,
up the great
anytime,
work.
and, you know, it doesn't even have to be about work. You know, it's,
No.
you get together, golf, you know,
Yep.
have a beer, and
Go to the Nailers games.
I
go
like
to
that.
Nailers. I can only go on Sundays because I can't get off Wednesday night,
That's
Friday
okay.
night, Saturday
Well, we'll all
nights.
meet there up on a Sunday.
Yeah.
and
Heck yeah.
We're going to go to a lot of Sunday games. So
We
But-
got to get a bourbon in there for you though at the West Banco. They have bourbon.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
They have bourbon
you
at
guys,
West Banco.
do you guys know Dwight? He owns Belair Party Center. Dwight.
I
He
don't
owns,
think
he
so.
owns the Hog places in there. The Max
not.
Hog.
Okay.
He owns
No, I
three
don't-
booths
we don't
in
know.
there. And if you go to the one on the west side, he's got bourbon on there.
Oh.
He's got Blanton's. He's got Weller's. My wife and I spent a lot of time there.
Oh,
Saturday.
good. All right. So
Lot
you're
of time,
taken
lot of
care of.
money.
Oh yeah.
That's a good thing.
I took Brian downstairs. It's only scary the first time I asked you down there, by the way. You know.
Well,
But,
that's fantastic, man. With Rick, it's been incredible. We've had a lot of fun as usual, and let's keep this partnership going. And
oh, definitely.
best of luck to you. You got a special thing going here.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, boys.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you, Rick.
appreciate it.
We appreciate
Yeah,
Rick
man.
and his
And,
wife having us over here. Belmont Brewerks. Stop by, get these croutons, get these wings, get this
And
beer.
Get this Belmont Brewerks lager.
It's absolutely perfect over here. Great setting. We appreciate Rick taking the time to sit down with us for a little bit here on our Pine Room exclusive number 8. We'll finish up Bettor's Last Stand.
and there's his lovely wife.
Yeah. It's been a
She won't
wonderful
come
night.
over.
We've
Try to get her
enjoyed
over
everything.
here.
What's that?
Try to get her over here, Heather.
Hey, Heather. Heather, You want to come on and say a few?
She shot you down quick.
I told you.
Heather's doing a wonderful job. We thank
Heather,
her
you're
for her
the best.
hospitality.
You can come over and say hi to the boys. Though.
All right, Heather says hello.
You know I'm sleeping on the couch now, right? I just
Blame Coach for that. That's his fault.
That's gonna be
anyway,
the
that's
couch.
going to do us for us here, the Pine Room guys here at Belmont Brewerks. Again, thanks to Rick and everybody
you,
here.
guys.
It's been a wonderful night, and we'll see you soon. And we'll be back in the Pine Room before you know it. Good night, everybody.
Thanks to all the people in the background too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy.